Goddamn.
Whew. Man. Well, what is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing here today for your 241st edition of Unscripted, man? So, with all that, again, how is everybody doing here today on, like I said, another episode of Unscripted? Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. And with all of that, yeah, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know how the show works, every Monday we are on here after Monday Night Raw with NHP Unscripted, and every Friday at 4 p.m. Central we are on here with the new, or every Friday at 3 p.m. Central, still adjusting to the new time, we are live right here with the news, man. So, with all of that, if you guys did miss this past Friday's edition of the news, will Mariah May stay all elite? This piggybacks off of the news that she has an upcoming contract with the company. So we talked about all that good stuff. We talked about Orlando putting in a bid for WrestleMania, more international Monday Night Raw and SmackDown dates, all that good stuff. We had a good week of news last week. So if you guys did miss that, that is available on all platforms for you guys. That is Spotify, Apple Podcast, and if you want to see it first, join us right here live at 3 p.m. Central every Friday with the news, man. Also, if this is your first time watching and you guys have not got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man, where you can find this beautiful piece of merchandise, the very hottest in all of the IWC, live again on bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man, so you can get yours available for purchase today, man. So, with all of that, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at NHP, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very podcast, and as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. How the hell are you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Just been chilling out, man. It was a good weekend. Hilarious weekend for many reasons. Crazy weekend. But I'm doing good, man. Excited. Dynasty this weekend. Very excited for the weekend in general. And I like watching AEW pay-per-views, man. I don't like, the build up to them, but usually the pay-per-views are always good, man. So I'm excited for this weekend. And one weekend after that, well, a weekend, then a weekend. It's WrestleMania, man. So I'm excited. A lot of good things coming
Mm-hmm.
up, and everything's looking good, man. But like Durante always asks, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing watching the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
I am doing good. I'm doing good. I'm seeing an awful lot of my sound going into the red. If I'm too loud to the point where I'm crackling, please let me know. Because I'm trying to lower myself, but I don't want to go too low. How am I on your end?
Pretty normal on my end.
Okay. All right. Well, just making sure. So if I am too loud to the point where I'm like kind of crackling, please let me know because I did see I did see a little bit of that last week at certain points, but last week was just complete. I don't know what the problem was last week. But thankfully we can hear Sir K this week. And I'm not talking to myself. So
Look at that. Good lord.
But yeah, so again, if I am loud to the point where I'm just straight up crackling, please let me know because this whole audio thing has just been odd lately. I haven't done anything yet. The audio gets fucked up. So and I'm trying to fix it, but then when I try to fix it, I'm too low. So just please let me know. It looks okay now, so just let me know if there is any problems on your guys' end. But yeah, man. We have quite an interesting week of wrestling to talk about here today. We have an episode of Dynamite that we're about to get into. That was
All right, yeah.
it was okay. Didn't necessarily set the world on fire. But it was
Dynamite's gonna do that much anyway.
yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since Dynamite has set the world on fire. But regardless, it was an episode of Dynamite nonetheless. Like I said, I mean, it was good. It was a good episode of Dynamite, but it was just nothing overly spectacular to the point where you just got to be seated at 7 o'clock how it used to be on a Wednesday night. But um, we actually have SmackDown to talk about. We have quite an interesting topic on SmackDown to talk about, and obviously Monday Night Raw, man, which in my opinion, out of the three international Monday Night Raws that they've done, I would go out on a limb and say this was probably the best one we've gotten so far. If you're comparing it to the Belgium Raw, and then if you're comparing it to the Scotland Raw, I think WWE gave you the best that they had out of the three shows tonight, in my opinion. But how are you feeling about what we got on each three of these shows?
Oh, definitely. I think tonight was the best one of these, international shows that we could have got, three, fire shows in a row. But we didn't. We got one of them, and it was this one. And this one was really good, man. Um, like the start of it, obviously incredible. But Cena and Cody didn't have to do a carry job because a lot of the other stuff on the show was really good and really interesting, man. So tonight was a much better night in what the last two international Raws most definitely should have been.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. It definitely felt a lot less like a carry job. And we also did get some, yeah, like I said, some interesting things when you look at Gunther and Jay and Jimmy, and then some of the stuff with the Judgment Day I thought was very good, and the women's championship stuff I thought was another week of good storytelling. So yeah, man, but. Man, here we are. Uh,
Start.
yep. Here's Sir K's favorite part of the week, man.
Oh, yes.
AEW Dynamite.
Yay. Love it.
Okay, so this episode of Dynamite is started with a match. It is
Okay.
start. This episode of Dynamite kicked off with Kenny Omega versus Vanilla Baby, Blake Christian. Blake
Vanilla baby
Christian.
baby.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Um, um, Blake Christian, according to Tony Schiavone, has been setting the world on fire in ROH with his 7-match win streak, which earned him a spot on Dynamite.
I don't think it's possible to set fire in ROH. I think they banned fire because that's not possible. They got Athena, and she's got those embers, man. But you can only spark them so much in ROH.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right, man. And so again, according to Tony Schiavone, Blake Christian is setting the world on fire in ROH. So just so you guys were aware, um, Kenny Omega beat Blake Christian in about 5 minutes with a one-winged angel, and packed him up. That was basically that. The match was good, and it was a match. I mean, that. What can I say? It was a match. I
It was
mean,
good.
yeah.
AEW, they have a lot of those.
So Kenny, after the match, he gets on the mic and he says he doesn't get the chance to wrestle every week, so he promised to make it quick. So our fearless leader, Tony Khan.
Fearless. He's kind of scared for his life,
I
so I
was
don't know
gonna,
if
I,
he's fearless.
I was gonna say, I think I would probably use our scary ass leader, Tony Khan. Um,
You mean scared ass?
no, I'm gonna go ahead and stick. I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the scary ass leader, Tony Khan.
Okay.
He had no choice but to sign for the match.
I don't think that's a choice for Tony Khan. I think he just did it anyway.
Yeah, I
I
was
think
gonna.
it's no choice for you, Kenny.
Pretty much that sounds about right. It seemed like he couldn't have had Kenny Omega just come out here and cut this promo, so he had to start it with a match. Give it some substance in his mind. So so
Ugh,
then we hear the breakdance disco music of Speedball Mike Bailey. He walks out there.
people.
Yeah, there it is. He walks out there. Was it just me, or did he walk out there like the default universe mode promo entrance cutscene?
I was
Yeah, he walked out there and he's like puffing up his shoulders and he's looking from side to side at the audience and he's like shaking his head like yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, dude, why does this look like the fucking default universe mode? Like, when you would play universe mode and you would like set up a little promo segment during the show and like that default, because nobody gets their regular entrance, they got to use the shitty entrance where they're holding the mic and they and they walk out there with the most just generic mannerisms ever. Well, that's how my
ugh.
Speedball Mike Bailey walked out there. So he walks out there and he tells Kenny Omega he is an inspiration, but he will not hesitate to kick his head clean off and take his title. We then see Trevor Ricochet Man on the Tron, and he said he wishes he could be there tonight, but he is at his wedding. He then starts strutting in his wedding suit like Ric Flair, and he says, but the real best day of his life will be April 6th when he gets to beat Cornball and the former best bout machine, and he leaves
Mhm.
with the girl and the gold. Ha ha, says says Ricochet. Kenny Omega goes to confront Ricochet, but I think he failed to realize that Ricochet was not via satellite and that this was pre-recorded. He says, "Wait on it. Oh, wait a minute, Ricochet," and the fucking feed cuts. So Ricochet's gone, and Kenny Omega says, "Okay." Um, he says, in this match, there is no friends, and he's only worried about one thing, and that is defending his international championship. He then welcomes Cornball Mike Bailey to AEW. So that was this segment. I mean, it was a decent little. I don't know why it couldn't have just been the promo. I don't know why the random ass match had to be involved, but I mean, nonetheless, Speedball, a lot of people like to say that like he sucks on the mic. I honestly didn't get
He
that
didn't.
vibe. He wasn't like egregiously horrible in my honest opinion.
No, exactly. He was fine. I was actually surprised by his level of quality because the way, like you said, the way people described him, I was expecting it to be like really like choppy and sloppy, and it wasn't that at all. It was fine. It's just he's just a little basic. That's all it is, man. And he surprised me with the quality of his promo. And he's not bad, man. He's just one of those people that to me scream, man, NXT would have elevated the shit out of this man because he's not bad, dude. He's really not bad on the mic so far. NXT would have hosted that man up so well. But overall, I like the segment, man. Speedball surprised me, or cornball, as Ricochet would say, which gotta give props to Ricochet on that one. He got me. Ricochet was good. Speedball was good. And Kenny of course was good, man. And like you said, I don't know why they didn't just do this instead of doing the match, but it's AEW. They're gonna do the match anyway. But overall, I liked this segment a lot, and I was really surprised by Speedball's in mic work.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I was pleasantly surprised. And two, a lot of people, say the same thing about a lot of people say the same thing about Ricochet. Like I get when he first came to AEW, I did get the sense that he was absolutely horrible on the mic. Honestly, today with like the new character that he has, I feel he's
He's
gotten
fine.
again. He's again, and I'm not sitting here saying he's CM Punk on the microphone, but like
No.
he's just I think he's fine now. I honestly think he's fine to the point where I do feel that he's comfortable and he found what works on the mic for him. And in this case, it's being a cocky heel. So
Hmm. Exactly.
So I think that I think it does work for him. I think it does work for him, and I think he's doing good by it. But yeah, I honestly, like you said, man, I really was not surprised, or I really was surprised rather, with Mike Bailey because again, coming into the company, all we heard was how awful he was on the mic and how he has no character, and although he doesn't have the most in depth character like Drew McIntyre or Roman Reigns, but again, maybe the character department may lack, but like on the mic, he wasn't. I expected a lot worse from what we heard. So I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't. Again, it wasn't horrible.
It really wasn't. I was very surprised.
So Chris Jericho is in the back and he's yelling at the learning tree, saying that they have learned nothing that he's taught them. He then challenges Bandito to a mask versus title match at AEW Dynasty. Okay,
We were
well,
skipping the
there.
Jericho match. We
uh,
got it again.
Okay, well, there's a positive to this and there's a negative. The positive, we get to see a Bandito match on pay-per-view. The negative is
What?
it's a fucking Bandito match against Chris fucking Jericho. So, I mean, pick your
No.
poison, I guess. But it is what it is, man. And I mean, again, I am happy we're seeing Bandito on pay-per-view. But again, it's a Chris Jericho match. It's more than likely going to be not the Bandito showcase we need. We need Bandito in the ring with people that can actually go in this day and age so he can actually look good, not trying to carry around 50-year-old Chris Jericho trying to relive 2019 as if he is his OG AEW self. I love you, Chris. I'm sorry. It's time, bro. It's time.
Time. It's time to just put it up and chill out, man, because holy shit, that man has completely lost the plot, lost the way. Bro, the GPS took him to fucking nowhere in the middle of fucking nowhere, dude. It's insane, dude. Um, but except for a Bandito match, it's just Chris Jericho, ROH. You don't got the man in the best circle.
No, not at all. Um, MJF. MJF. MJF, the real leader of the Hurt Syndicate, is going up in a promo battle against the now leader of the Hurt Syndicate, MVP. If anybody remembers that commentary blunder from Full Gear. Um,
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Tony Schiavone.
Got it, dude. I love
The,
AEW commentary. It's so bad.
the leader of the Hurt Syndicate, MJF. Love it. So, MJF is out there and he tells MVP he never wanted to do the friend thing again after Adam Cole, but he realized MVP does not do friends. He does business. And he wants to be in the business of hurting people. He goes to shake his hand. MVP goes to shake his hand back, and the Hurt Syndicate, the rest of the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton, they come out to a thunderous ovation. Actually, I mean these guys are over as
Terrible.
fuck, man. I don't know why they're not on Dynamite every week, but they're over as fuck. And I wish,
Insanely over.
dude, I wish Tony Khan would stop putting them on Collision or just having them off of TV because I mean these guys are golden. And the past 2 weeks, I know they've been off of TV, which is fine. We don't need them on TV every week. Let's just get them off Collision. I don't think Collision
Mhm.
is the place where we need to have them. I think the Hurt Syndicate are best suited on Dynamite, man. So, um, they come out there. Bobby Lashley stares down MJF. He puts his hand out, and MJF thinks that he puts his hand out because he wants to shake his hand. But Bobby says, "No, give me your card." So MJF gives him the Hurt Syndicate card. He rips it up, and he puts his fist up to MJF's face, and MJF backs up, gets out of the ring, and leaves the ring. And we didn't see him for the rest of the night as Shelton, as I believe they were in St. Paul, Minnesota, which is where Shelton went to college. Shelton got a huge reaction here tonight. He got a huge, like literally, man, he got a huge reaction. So that was cool to see, and that was that. That was that as far as MJF goes. Interesting to see where this whole thing is going. Obviously, there's rumors of MJF bringing in a tag team of somebody and Alex Hammerstone. I can't remember the other guy's name to feud and rival against the Hurt Business. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't really know how I feel about that, considering we've tried putting MJF in a couple different factions and it never works. And MJF, his character is just it's just so rinse and repeat, man. It's just, I mean,
Hmm.
are we really going to do the angle again where he goes to join a faction and then the faction falls for it, they let him in just for him to, bring in
Use
his
them.
own faction?
It's so overplayed and overused, man. But I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the direction of the story. But we really don't know. This segment didn't give us a lot of answers, which I like. Um, and I'm interested to see, this week how, this whole MJF and her business thing evolves to. So I'm interested. I'm interested. Her syndicate is very over, incredibly over, man. And I love to see that, man. And I just hope they don't completely fumble this whole thing, man.
Same. Same here. So after this, after MJF leaves, Big Bill and Brian Keith come out.
Oh man,
Oh, well,
they
sorry.
got reamed.
Uh, Brian Keith and Big Bull. Not Big Bill. Brian Keith and Big Bull. Do you want to take a guess who said that? I mean, not that hard. There's really only two options here because you know something like that ain't coming from Taz.
No, I'm gonna guess Shivani.
Actually, wrong. It was Excalibur.
Damn, that's true. That's true. Shivani says the dumb shit. Excalibur gets the things wrong in the first place. That's the pattern of their fuck ups. They're
Yep,
the main pattern of their fuck
that's
ups,
very
man.
true. Actually, yeah, that's actually very true. So, Big Bull and Brian Keith, they were
That's what this
came out
show
there.
is.
Yes, this show is a load of fucking bull. Um, Big Bill is on the mic. He's saying he sees the Hurt Syndicate in the ring, but he don't see no competition. And MVP with the fucking dagger of the night says, "Yeah, me neither."
Dude. Oh, fucking best line of the night, dude. We don't
Uh,
see competition. Me neither. Bro, dude, Big Bill's face in that moment was just like, damn.
fuck, dude, dude, I'm telling
Me
you, bro.
killed. Oh, that was a fucking amazing moment, dude.
Oh god, that was fucking something, man. I said, "Oh, he did not just say that, dude."
He fucking killed those two.
Ah, horrible. Fucking horrible, man. Slaughtered them. So they then they then go back and forth calling each other um bitch. MVP says, Big Bill and his bitch, and then Big Bill calls MVP a bitch. MVP says, we already established who the bitch is. It was just bitch, bitch, bitch flying around the whole rest of this fucking promo. Um, he
Oh,
then
AW.
MVP then gets out of the ring and they walk up to Bill and Brian Keith and he tells Bill that him and his girlfriend need to win something and then and only then will we ever consider you for a shot at these tag titles. And they walk off. So Big Bull and Brian Keith won a match on Collision, so it looks like this is going to be the match at Dynasty for the AEW Tag Team Championships. So, the 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 Big Bill part of the promo, I mean, it was good. It was good. Bill did
It's fun.
okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Although he was getting slaughtered, he didn't. He tried his best to come back. Again,
yeah,
you can't help in the at the when the promo was all said and done, MVP did slaughter him. But in terms of him attempting to come back, I thought he did good with what MVP was saying back to him. Um, so I mean, he did somewhat hold his own, and again, although he did get slaughtered, it wasn't a complete massacre. I mean, he did try to come back. His hits just weren't as good as MVP's one-liners were. So.
exactly, man. Big Bill tried his best. He's not bad at all. He's really not. Um, and he, MJ or MJF, I fucking call me Excalibur. MVP did kill him with that line, man, but he survived overall, and he held his own for the most part for what he can, and it was a very fun exchange with MVP
It was. It was. Kyle Fletcher versus Brody King.
for some reason.
What? Why? Why? Why is this happening? I fail to realize why this is happening. Um, you know, when you're playing cards,
Okay,
you know the card with the K on it. What does
yeah,
the K stand for?
stands for King,
What does the J stand for?
Joker.
I think we need to start calling Brody King Brody Joker because his whole
Mm,
AEW run is a fucking joke. Because, dude, this guy, for as big as he is and as menacing as he is, I swear to
mhm.
God, cannot fucking get a win to save his life on this show, man. I mean, the big man booking in this company is just fucking horrendous, man.
Oh, dude, it's a constant with AEW where they do not know how to book big men. Everyone has stepped up, looked great, was so cool, all the potential, and they just lose for the rest of their run.
He loses to Kyle Fletcher because Mark Davis came in with a distraction, and Fletcher hit him with a turnbuckle brainbuster to secure
Mhm.
himself the victory. They attack Brody after the match. Hobbs comes out for the save. This leads to a Hobbs versus Mark Davis match, and Hobbs beats him with a spinebuster.
Oh, man.
Okay. Um, Nick Wayne is backstage. He says he is starting to see why Christian cashed in at Revolution, but he is going to wait until he sees him in person to tell him. He says last week is an example of how to properly execute a plan, being that, Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian got involved and Copeland didn't end up winning the championship. So we then
Hmm.
get Swerve and Adam Page backstage, and Hangman is talking about how he is going to enter the Owen.
Mm. Very
Swerve,
interesting, mate.
very
Hmm.
interesting, very very interesting. Um, Swerve, or sorry, go ahead. Say what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I'm glad that they're looking to put a lot of big names in Owen this come
Yeah.
around.
Oh God, you ain't lying, bro. You are
Heck yeah.
not lying. I mean, man, it is a tournament, bro. It is a tournament. Now you are going to get a lot of fans that say, "Well, we want big names in the tournament." But then when you get big names in the tournament, then they're going to say, "This guy got out in round one." Yeah, bro, it's a tournament. It's a fucking
Yeah.
turn. Not everyone can advance,
If
and
you
a,
lose, you lose.
a lot of
Essentially.
fans, man, they cannot come to terms with tournaments a lot of the time. But those are the same fans that say, "Well, you can't put." I complained about the Continental Classic, but again, I will sit here and legitimately, bro, if a top star loses in the first round, bro, it's a tournament. It is a
Mhm.
tournament. How many times in playoff basketball or football, because football's one game elimination, how many times do you see the best team that played some of the best football all season knocked out in the first round? It fucking happens,
Yeah.
bro. It happens. But then
You
again,
lose, you lose.
a lot of wrestling fans live in a bubble and they aren't really conditioned to sports. But those are
No.
the same fans that say they like a sports feel, but then when you get a sports feel, you complain about it.
Oh, exactly. They hate it. I want the sports feel. Oh, they got they got logos in the ring. What the fuck, man?
Yeah,
What the hell? This isn't
exactly.
wrestling. Well, I want a sports feel. What? They're keeping track of the wins and losses. What the hell, dude? They every instance of a sports feel being added, they hate it, but they say they love the sports feel. I don't get it.
Uh, I don't know, but legitimately, I'm happy for this because you need to stock this up with big names. I mean, legit, dude. You cannot. Don't be putting don't be putting, guys that you can just look at and say, oh, they're out first round. Like, oh, that guy has no chance of ever. Like, you need to at least have a decent sum of people that you could say, well, I could see them winning. Um,
Hmm.
so, in AEW, they do matches best. So, tournaments with banger matches with big name talent will only make the tournament better.
Work
So,
exactly.
I don't know. But again, a lot of you fans, if they put a bunch of big names in this Owen tournament, I don't want to hear your bullshit when Konosuke Takeshita gets knocked out in the first round, or when Kyle Fletcher is out in the first round, because you guys say you want the big names in the company in there. Well, when you get them in there, don't bitch when they go out in the first round. So it's a tournament now. So, anyways.
Wrestling fans.
So Hangman, he's talking about entering the Owen. Swerve walks up to him and he says, "Did I hear you say you're going to get involved with my championship?" Hangman says, "Bitch, did I stutter?" Swerve says, "You know what I'm capable of. I will end you." Nana then comes in and he backs Swerve off and pulls him away. So that was that. And could this be foreshadowing to a match at All In between the two?
I could be, man. It could be. There could be another one queued up under some circumstances, and I'm very interested, man. And I do like how even, post, the events of the feud, they're still around each other and they even interact, and it's still good because a lot of times after you have a blood feud like that, you have to completely separate the two like acts,
Mhm.
and they didn't. And it works out. They interact with each other every now and then, and it's really cool, man. I'm glad they were successfully able to come out of that feud on the same show because you don't really have a choice in AEW, and they interact, and it's still like interesting, and I like that they're able to do that still.
For sure. For sure. And obviously, there was a couple weeks ago where we had a glimpse of Hangman looking for Swerve, maybe to even apologize. So,
Yeah,
you can,
very.
yeah, so you can, maybe sense where this storyline is going to go in a year, 2 years from now. I feel like we might see these two actually become good buddies one day.
I could
So,
see it. I
yeah,
could
I
definitely
mean,
see it.
for
They're gonna
sure.
have their bar moment.
For sure. That is absolutely the natural progression eventually of this storyline.
Oh yeah.
So, uh, Cope and FTR, they had a sit down segment with Tony Schiavone. If they could only keep Tony Schiavone in these roles, then,
Please.
where he's limited to a sentence per segment, this is where he thrives. This is where I really like Tony Schiavone.
This was really a moment of a segment, man.
Yeah, let's
It was
keep him
dynamite
from
moment.
saying stuff like that. That's why we need to keep him in the back. So,
It's a dynamite moment. With the best worst line I've ever heard out of Tony Schiavone. Insane.
God, dude. Dax says, well, Tony Schiavone asks a question about, what is the future for rated R FTR, right? And Dax says, let me cut you off for a second. He says, I felt we took a break from the tag titles to help you win the world title. And for 4 months, we were directionless. Uh, 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 uh,
What do you
okay, wait. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's calm down. Okay, let's break this down piece by piece. Okay, first of all, you guys have been directionless since CM Punk left the company. That's the first thing. Okay, that's number one. They've been directionless since then, probably even before then. Okay,
I
that's the
would say
first thing. The second thing
worst insult in
is
the podcast.
the the, sec- the second thing is what Copeland says next. Okay, so Copeland says, "Wait a minute. I came back to help you guys because they put bags over your head and they beat you up. I only came back to help. How the fuck were you guys directionless? And you're blaming it on Copeland, but you said you were bringing him back to help you. Remember when they were sitting on their
You
couch and they were like, we're going to be cleared January 1st and we're not coming alone. And then they didn't even end up waiting till January 1st. They were back like at the end of December with Copeland. Y'all got
literally,
him.
they got him back into the fold, into the story with him, and then you guys ditched him to do your own thing and then came back. So what are you talking about? Oh, legendary fucking just ass backwards conversation, dude. None of it makes sense.
I mean, how do we look at this and say, how do we look at this and we don't point these things out? How the fuck are you going to blame Copeland and 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 you guys literally brought him into this fight?
I ditched him.
And then you ditched him. What? I mean, what? I mean, come on now. So, Cash talked about how much both of his best friends mean to him, Dax and Cope. He then tells them we need to get on the same page. I wonder how CM Punk would feel about that.
Very curious.
I thought he was their best friend, dude. Come on. What are we doing?
What the hell, man?
So,
Randy Orton.
So I know, dude. I fucking thought it was Daniel Garcia a month ago. I don't know who their best friend is. Well, anyways, Dax, he says, I know, that's why I'm saying I'm sorry. But now that we're done helping Cope achieve his dreams, it's time to get back on track. Hurt Syndicate. We're coming for the tag team championships. Dax or Cash cuts him off. He says, wait, hold on. I think rated R FTR, as Tony Schiavone would call them, still has more to give. I say we give this one more shot and we challenge the Death Riders at Dynasty for the Trios Championships.
Holy shit, those things still exist?
No. They they do not. This is a good question though. So they all agree, and Dax seemed to be pretty fired up on Collision. He pushed Cash down. I don't know how smart that is. I'm pretty sure he's packing something in that holster. But I don't know how smart it is to really push him down. However,
Don't call him off, dude.
No, do not cut Cash Wheeler off. Do not cut Cash Wheeler off. That is a bad scenario. No good can come out of that. But, so, he pushed him down, and I guess they got into a little bit of a scuffle, man. I don't know, but, either they're going to win the Trios Championships, and they're going to have a run for a little bit. Either way, man, I honestly see FTR turning heel out of all this, and 100%. And then, Edge versus FTR wouldn't obviously make any sense. That's a handicap situation. However, there is a certain friend of Mr. Cope's that is fighting with his own family at the moment in Christian Cage. So I'm sure that's where those stars are going to align. And honestly, dude, for FTR, to no fault of Cash Wheeler's, the group is very unlikable. They're
Yeah.
very unlikable, and you can look at, Dax and how much he kind of camps on social media, or you can look at the repetitive promos where it's kind of just a little overkill on look at me, I'm a good person, which
Oh, Lord.
is obviously going to make anybody unlikable. Um, Anybody who is, like I said, an overly just hip hip hooray, look at me, I'm such a great guy, look at everything I did for this business and how much I love this business, and all the everything I do for my peers. Nobody's gonna like a guy like that. I mean, they've made themselves
No.
very unlikable, and I honestly think the best case scenario for them is to go heel. And I'm sad that it's taken this long, but I mean, hopefully they can get back on track sooner or later, and hopefully this is the turning point.
Exactly. I hope they go heel. I think that's the direction no matter what. Whether they win the titles, have a little run with, Edge and then turn, or they don't win them and then they turn. I think no matter what, eventually they're on track to turn heel, man. I think that's the best case scenario, dude. They need an overhaul, they need a change of attitude. And it just makes sense for them to go heel. Cash is kind of just guilty by
Yep.
association really. So you got Dax, he always runs his mouth about this and that, how he's a good person, and he's one of those people that just talk about being a good person. So that would actually really help as a heel if he's one of those heels that's always like, hey, I'm a good person, you guys aren't. He could run that shit as a heel, and I think it would work much better. And I think they just work better as heels in this current environment for the way they've set themselves up, or the way Dax and that one dude set himself up with Cash. But I always forget who did he do the podcast with? What was his fucking name? I always forget the dude's name.
Uh, Fuck. Can't remember.
I, I
Something.
know it, but I don't know it.
So one of the guys
But
that blocked us because of the whole Eric Young
yeah,
thing. I can't remember his fucking
exactly. I
name,
can't,
dude, but
which is the fucking funniest part about all that, man. But can't even remember the dude's name. But yeah, I think a heel run is best for these guys, and I think that's the direction anyway.
definitely. Now, for the best part of the show, in my opinion, Swerve and John Moxley.
Definitely.
Swerve Strickland, he calls out Moxley. Moxley comes out. Swerve and Moxley are now in the ring together. Swerve says, "What happened to you? You used to be revered in AEW, synonymous with the World Championship, but now you hide behind the Death Riders." He asks how his back is feeling. He says he today is everything Mox used to be. Moxley asks Swerve, "Who are you and what are you?" He says, "I already know the answer, and I will give you a chance to. I will give you a chance to step in and be everything you can be. But how far will you? How far will you go through all the pain and suffering?" He says his business is being taken over by billionaires and talent agencies and kids who see the world through an Instagram filter. He says, "Guys like Swerve, you give me hope. But how far are you willing to go?" He says it shouldn't be a problem because you're the most dangerous man in AEW. Marina gets on the apron, but stops Willow stops her in her tracks and stands right beside her. Swerve, and as Moxley sees this happening, all behind Swerve's back, Swerve says, "What's wrong? You're facing someone smarter than you?" He says, "Unscripted violence? Boy, I am violence. You bled pints, I bled buckets. You've been in Texas death, I've won them." He says, "In 11 days, I take back the title and lead the dynasty era. And while you continue, and while I do that, you can continue to play John. You can continue to play John Moxley on television."
Hmm.
This was a very good promo. The only thing, and this is a common problem with John Moxley promos in this day and age, he almost like talks himself in circles, but he like Bray Wyatt used to talk in circles, but Bray Wyatt sounded very intelligent talking in circles. When John Moxley talks in circles, I swear to you, it gives the vibes he has no fucking idea what he's talking about. He's sitting here telling Swerve, how far will you go through the pain and suffering to get to the top of this business? Like, dude, you
Been there.
you know he's won the championship before, right? Like, it did,
You know, he had the most brutal match last year.
like, huh?
He
Like,
a needle to a cheek in that match, dude. Like, what are you talking
this,
about? This man
he
is a made man.
he got stabbed in the fucking face with a needle last year. I mean, and he got power bombed on a cinder block, a shoot cinder block. I mean, what is to be questioned here? And again, man, it's just like when the Death Rider angle first started. John Moxley would cut these cryptic promos, but it sounded like there was substance to it, and that like he knew, or like you can understand the point he was trying to get across. Here, I can understand what he's trying to say if Swerve has never won the world championship before, but again, he's talking to this guy, how far will you go and what will you be willing to give up? And dude, he's won the world title before. And again, he's been in the most brutal matches, some of the most brutal matches in this company's history. And you're talking as if this guy is a fucking ROH call up right now. I mean, what?
That, that's the thing, dude. And I like Mox and I like this promo, but it's like, dude, what's the point at the end of the day? Because like, I don't know who any of these promos apply to, because damn near everyone he's faced so far, those are people who are made people. And he's acting like, none of them are, and I don't understand that element to this. I think the Death Riders really needed that element of that mystery as to why they were doing it and who they were doing it for and the whole bigger picture. And I just don't think that the way that Tony Khan set this group up, I don't think it works without that, and we don't have that because of Tony Khan, and I think it's a big detriment to the group. Again, I like the segment, I like the promos from both guys, but it's in a circle, dude. It's a dog chasing his tail. It's
Yes.
just you're wondering like, dude, what are you doing that for? It I don't know. I think it's just it hit its ceiling and now it's just dragging along that ceiling, dude.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Moxley is like we always talk about how people have like really bad, like their topics on their promos may be good, but their delivery was horrible. It's like the complete
Sure.
opposite with Moxley. It's like his
Hmm.
delivery, like he sounds great talking and he delivers the message good. It's just the message sucks and the message doesn't make any sense. That's just, I don't
Yeah.
know, man. It's just, again, I'm just like sitting here and he keeps repeatedly asking Swerve, like it sticks out like a sore thumb. How far are you willing to
Mm.
go for the title? Like, obviously you know this. Like again, not only has he been in the most brutal matches in AEW history, he was the world champion last year. Like
His childhood home got burnt down in a feud. That's how far he's willing to go.
like
Like,
he
the
broke into a
trophy.
man's house and gave his kid his merch. Like what
Okay.
he like huh? It just like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
again the delivery is there and Moxley's promos always sound great, but the further along this Death Rider story gets, it's like again, delivery is on point. The substance in the promo is just so out of whack. It's just like what? Like what like you just scratch your head like is this guy fucking stupid? Like what? Like I
Do you know who the people you're facing? You're not facing schmucks, dude. You're
He's acting
not.
like he's acting like he's going into a world championship match against Blake Christian or something. Yeah, I mean like
Yeah. This is a made man, a post AEW world champion, dude. He's been the champ not that far long ago. It's just I like it and I like Fox and I like the group, man. But dude, the way Tony Khan set it up, they're just dragging along the ceiling they already hit, man. There's
Mm.
nothing else for this group to do, man. And we got probably like two or three more feuds after this with this group of
But yeah,
just gonna be the same thing. He's gonna tell MJF, "What are you far are you willing to go?" He's gonna tell that to
Osprey.
whoever's after
Yep.
Osprey. Osprey, you might have something there because he is the newest to AEW
Yeah.
in that circle. But like even then, it's Will Osprey. I know the guy is willing to go pretty far, man. He jumped off a cage when his wife pleaded him not to. I think he could go pretty far. It's just a constant loop with this Death Riders thing.
It makes me think like the only one that, he can really say this to is Darby Allen. I mean, look, like like it would make sense if he said that to Darby Allen, like, how far are you willing to go? Look at how far you've already went and you've never won a world title. You've done
Yeah,
all this crazy shit in AEW. You've sacrificed your body. You went through glass, crashed cars, da da da, all this and all that. And what do you have to show? Shit. It makes sense if you're saying that to a guy like Darby because, it is a
he
little
hasn't won a
true.
world title.
He's done all this crazy stuff and he's faced all these big names and all this stuff, and he either always loses or he wins, but nothing ever comes from it. But again, a guy like saying that to a guy like Swerve just makes no sense. It makes no sense, dude. And again, like you said, Osprey, I guess would maybe make a little more sense, being that he's the newest to AEW
Mhm.
out of those four guys. But again, even Will
Mm.
Osprey, he's the best. Or he's literally he dominated Japan, came over here, dominated the UK Indies, and now he's over here, and I guess it would make a little bit of sense saying that to a guy like Osprey or Darby Allen. But again, guys like MJF, guys like Swerve, or whoever else John Moxley's gonna face in this run, it doesn't make much sense, man. And it's just like you said, you put it in a perfect way, dude. They're dragging on the ceiling they already hit. And if Tony Khan would have just been able to get over himself and would have had somebody come in like a Shane to be the reason that the Death Riders were doing all of this shit, it would have maybe made it a little better. But again, I
And
mean, up until this point, dude, we have hit the ceiling.
And the whole thing with Tony kind of like, oh, I don't want anyone else to book the show. That would be the point of the story is that
That
Shane doesn't book the show, but the Death Riders are his attempt to take it over so he can do that said thing, but at the end of the day, they're going to fail anyway. So, I don't understand, man, but Tony Khan's a ego, man. Yeah, you can't take it.
he loves the NWO storyline, but doesn't want to commit to the NWO storyline.
Nope. He loves that shit, but he can't do it because he books the show. When you see a good match, that was Tony Khan, and you have to
Hmm.
know it was Tony, chairman, CEO, head of creative, the fucking
Son of a
five fucking
billionaire.
title. Son of a billionaire giving money to Cody Rhodes, like it come on, man.
Ah.
What's up, Bill? How you doing?
Hey, Bell, how are you, man? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us here. Yeah, man. I mean, I mean, you said it perfectly, man. They are just dragging across the ceiling, dude, and it is. I forgot to mention after the match, Willow completely forgets about Marina Shafir, and she's just sitting on the apron talking to Swerve, probably asking him how his fucking day's going, and she gets swiped off the apron, and Marina Shafir starts giving her the weakest body shots I've ever seen in my entire life, man. I've seen kids in high school go into the bathroom and do body shots harder than Marina Shafir was giving body shots to Willow Nightingale here.
Oh, literally, bro. It was. I didn't really understand the part to like that part. I don't know why they like fucking 2021 Jey Uso Marina Shafir in that segment where she's just like a rabid dog that just wants to fight and they gotta hold her back and shit. I don't get why they had to do that tonight with Marina or on Wednesday with Marina Shafir. I don't understand why they went the 2021 fucking Pitbull Jey Uso route.
Uh, I don't
and build your
understand. I don't understand. You know, Bell, I am really hoping,
I
and
I
it's
can only hope.
I'm really hoping Swerve wins. And you know, it does suck in a way because Darby does have a built-in story with the Death Riders, but it's really just a thing of Darby needed to be here, because if Darby was here, honestly, if I'm Tony Khan, I would have did Darby at Dynasty or Darby at Revolution, because this just can't continue any longer. As much as I would love to see it, again, hypothetically speaking, if the Death Riders were good, obviously I would love to see Darby finally take down John Moxley and all this stuff. But the fact of the matter is, I just don't know this can go on another 3 months. But in saying that, I don't think
It will.
AEW has shown time and time again it is hard for them to um
Defer.
call an audible.
No,
We've
they
been
don't.
saying that. Yes, we've been saying that for years, man. They cannot, for the life of them, call an audible. He is absolutely incapable of doing it. And I honestly think we are in for another 4 or now 3 months of this Death
I
Riders John Moxley storyline. So
I think so, man. I think so. I think, and at the end of the day, they do have a way of making it work if, Swerve or someone else does win, because you could play it up as, yeah, Darby was the destined guy for this to come in and, defeat the Death Riders, but he didn't. He was away. He was doing something else, and he could come back to an AEW where the problem's already solved, and he was the one that was, end of the day, supposed to do it, and his absence, he didn't, someone else did. And I think they could build a story on that if they really wanted to. And at this point, that might be the more enjoyable story, but I still think that he's going to be the one get all in or whatever where it's going to happen. But you have a way out if someone else does win that isn't Darby. And I think that at this point that might be the more well received route, but I think they're going the route they planned on going with anyway.
I think so too. And obviously, yeah, I mean, there is other ways and other shows you can do for Darby Allin. He was obviously originally supposed to take the title at Wrestle Dream in
Hmm.
Washington against Bryan. At this point, with the way the Death Rider story is going, I wish you would have done that. Either that, or I wish you would have done Hangman and had Hangman carry the belt into All In. Something like that, and have Hangman be the guy to end Bryan Danielson's career, full time career or whatever, and just kind of have, again, the deranged cowboy get, the world championship and end up getting the championship out of the whole situation. But the way they went, man, mixed with Darby, having to go climb Mount Everest, man, it really sucks. He broke his foot last year, because now would have been the time. Now would have
Oh,
absolutely been
exactly.
the time, man, and it sucks. It really, really, really sucks, because he's away, and it's about time for him to take that championship, but it can't be because he's away, and it's not gonna work. So, do you pivot? I say yes. I think Tony Khan says no.
Exactly. I would say yes, and I think you can make a story with Darby around the pivot and
Yeah,
around him, not being around, and him, just eventually, basically just ditching, AEW when they needed him, and you can make a story around that. I think at this point it might be a better story than him just coming back and winning. But I think that's the way they're still gonna go.
yeah. So we get Hook and Samoa Joe. Joe was asking him backstage, why'd you choke out Max? He says, Hook says, dude, he's such an annoying guy. It's so fun. And they see Max, so they're like, oh, okay, let's just go over there. Max is talking to AR Fox and Top Flight. He says, yeah, my partner Bowens, he's doing fuck all. Obviously, they bleeped out the fuck, but I thought that was
Hmm.
funny. He goes, hey, Shibata, what are you doing here? And then immediately as he says that, Samoa Joe chokes him out. He looks at Hook and he says, all right, man, I get it. That was pretty fun. So he daps him up, and that was it. Hook and Joe That pairing's golden, man. That pairing is golden. I don't know why you don't have them in some sort of tag team run. I know they're in a trios. Maybe you can have them guys eventually win the trios titles, man. But these two backstage, I mean, the chemistry with those two, it's golden, man. I love these two on screen
Right.
together.
I do. I really love the dynamic between the two. I think it's hilarious. Dude, the part where after they choked him out, they just stepped over him to dap up Top Flight and AR Fox. That shit was one of my favorite parts about this segment, how they just stepped over his body
Yeah.
just to dap him up, dude. Love it. Their chemistry is insane. And I hope they do something with these guys. Like you said, trios or tag or something.
Hmm.
Maybe they could be the baby faces to take it from a heel FTR with the trios titles or
Mm,
whatever, something, dude, something. Either way, I think you have to do something with them with some sort of title.
definitely agree. Definitely agree. The next three things on the show, Switchblade entered the Owen. Top Flight defeat Jobbers. Uh, Takeshita defeated Mark Briscoe. Um, those were the next random three things. I guess minus Switchblade entering the Owen. That is a pretty big thing, I guess. But those were any thoughts? Any thoughts on those?
Well, the matches, I mean, who cares? That's just jobber violence at that point. And then, Jay White announcing himself for the match. I like that. That's cool. Um, he's basically AEW's Finn Balor. He'll probably just lose in the first round or in one of those rounds, which, again, going back to the earlier conversation, is okay. But when you have a constant loser like Jay White, it's going to be a little annoying, but it's good to see that they're putting him, with all those high caliber guys.
Most definitely, bro. Most definitely. Um, Bobby and Shelton they confront MVP backstage, saying, "Look, we don't want MVP or we don't want MJF we don't want MJF joining the group." Bobby says, he has a slimy reputation. I don't like him. MVP says, I do like him though. I do like him and I do want him in the group. He says, we can revisit this later after we take care of this big bill situation. They say okay, and that was that. So I'm assuming this is now going to be something maybe being put on hold, or I could see MJF helping them beat the learning tree. I don't know why they would need help
Yeah.
beating them, but I could see that. I could see MVP trying to or Jesus, I'm Tony Schiavoneing this whole fucking thing. I could see
Same.
MJF. I could see MJF trying to just overly please these guys into them liking him.
I definitely see that. I think he is going to try to help them win, and they're going to be annoyed at him trying to help them win because, they could do it on their own, obviously. And I think that's going to be where more tension arises
Mm,
when MJF is just trying to, get in the good graces. I think it's just going to annoy them and piss them off more. I think it's going to be, I think MVP is going to like it. I don't think the other two guys are going to like it. I think they're just going to get annoyed at MJF trying to help them.
definitely, bro. Megan Bain and Penelope Ford defeated the team of Thunder Tits earlier in the night. Obvious, Thunder Rosa was trying to refresh Tony Storm that their tag team name used to be Thunderstorm. Tony Storm had other ideas. She declared that this pairing was Thunder Tits. So,
There you
gotta
go.
gotta
Yep.
love Tony Storm. Tony Storm lost to an F5 or Fate's Descent. It's called Megan Bain's F5, pretty much. Um,
Your career, eighth descent.
damn. Um,
Sorry.
she she lost clean. She lost clean to Megan Bain, so I'm pretty sure that tells you all about you need to know for the pay per view. Tony Storm is eventually going to hand Megan Bain her first loss in AEW. I can appreciate the effort, I guess, with Megan Bain. I just wish we knew a little bit more about her.
Yeah.
And you know, she's with somebody and Penelope Ford. So if you don't want her to talk, you can have Penelope tell us who she is. Instead, they're just a random group for no reason, and I genuinely have no idea why they are together. And again, if you don't want Megan to talk, cool, but you have somebody who can talk for her. And
Yeah.
and you don't do that. They're just a random group who again they don't dress alike or nothing. They're just their own people, and it just looks odd. It's just an odd pairing, man. They've done again. There's just no effort to make these two actually look like a pairing. So um, she's with her boyfriend's ex.
Is Megan Bain? Wait, what? Wait, I'm trying to do the calculations to that in my head.
Megan
Wait,
Megan Bain
wait,
is with Joey Janela.
with her boyfriend ex. Okay. I think that's what that means. I think that's what that
Cause
sentence
I
means. Correct. Because I
cause
think that's what that sentence means.
cause I know for sure that Penelope Ford. I really fucked with the pairing of Penelope Ford and Joey Janela
Oh,
way
that was
back
so good.
years ago. Megan Bain is with Joey Janela.
That's interesting, man. I wonder how she feels about him fucking trying to fight or trying to get fought by like fans and shit. That dude, one of my favorite moments, dude. When that fucking fan flipped the goddamn merch table and wanted to fight Joey Janela, that shit killed me,
Goated
man.
video, bro.
He's just fucking scared as hell. But yeah, I would just like an explanation of why they're on TV. Like, at the end of the day, it's obvious they're just friends. But can you just tell us that on TV at the very least? Hey, these two have history. They're friends. They go back years. As simple as that, dude. Just give us that, man. And they're having Tony Storm lose. It's the classic AEW fucking entry in the company. You come in, you face a champion, you lose to the champion, and that's how so many people start their career in AEW. And half the time, the people that do start that way don't end up well. So I hope that isn't the case for Megan Bain. I hope she does end up well at the end of the day.
Definitely. Definitely. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to work out in the way of Tony eventually, beating Megan Bain for the championship at Dynasty, but she does lose clean here to an F5. So that was honestly pretty shocking. But I guess they are trying to get Megan Bain over. And like Sergey said, hopefully everything goes okay. In regards to that, but we will just have to wait and see how they use her after the loss, because as history has shown us, if there's one thing Tony Khan cannot do is bring somebody into the company, have them go for the world championship right off the gate. When they lose the match, they are damn near never to be seen again. So we will have to wait and see
Hmm.
how well Megan is treated after the loss to Tony Storm and how they have her lose to Tony Storm. But
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that. That is fucking hilarious.
hilarious, Bell. I cannot wait to talk about the Tony Khan line that was dropped tonight. But that is basically it for AEW Dynamite, man. That is pretty much it. And yeah, that's that. We did see Athena on Collision.
Yeah, look at
So
that, man.
she came out to
Taking it away.
Yep, she came out to confront Mercedes, and she declared for the Owen. I'm very excited for that.
That's good. Look at that. That's the type of people I need in there, man. I hope she. I don't know if she'll win it, but I hope she does well because the winner would go for Tony, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So definitely. I don't know if she'll win it. Maybe like Mercedes is also in there, and they kind of end up bumping each other out.
Okay,
But I think that's.
what I'm
Hmm.
scared of here, Mercedes is obviously going to feud with Athena. I'm sure the next ROH pay per view we're going to see Athena versus Mercedes. I'm very
Okay.
scared Mercedes takes the championship from Athena, wins the Owen, because Mercedes is in it too, and then goes on to win the AEW Women's Championship from Tony Storm, and then she holds Quite fucking
Eh,
literally all the belts that Tony Khan
all
is
the
in control of, and then some from other companies.
he's not even in control of, and they still let this shit happen. I could see that. I could definitely see that as a possibility, man. And the thing about those, dude, about those like moments where someone has all those belts. Okay, you won all the belts. How do you slowly get rid of a man? Because it never makes sense to me for when someone has multiple belts for a challenger to only want one of those belts at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's always the aftermath to those like multi-title situations. To me, almost always suck because like, why would you say, "Yeah, I want to face you, but I want to face you for just the blah 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 champion"? Like, dude, that doesn't never make sense to me. So very scared for the aftermath to that, man, because those never go well for me personally.
definitely. Definitely. No, I mean, I definitely get that. Because again, if you're a challenger and you feel like you could beat Mercedes, why would you say I only want the TBS title when she holds the
Yeah,
company's main women title?
I'm not a gambler, but might as well gamble and take them all. Like, I don't get that, dude. I never get that.
Yeah. So that was that. And yeah, that was pretty much everything from AEW this week, or AEW Dynamite at least this week. And with that, an official word from our sponsor here at NHP, W Energy. W Energy is an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. W Energy is a clean energy drink formula, sugar free, 0 calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings, with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. With all that, you can get your W Energy products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase, man. As always, the official sponsor of what we do here at the Notorious Hills Podcast. As always, shout out to W Energy.
Really, always got to give W the shout out, man. Whether you need the energy for work, a workout, or just anything else, man. We got Dynasty coming up. You know those AEW pay-per-views. They start at like 6, 7 o'clock. Be up till midnight, man. Want to be up till midnight to see the show? Try W, man. It'll keep you energized. You won't have jitters, and it'll taste good all at the same time, man.
There it is, and here we are. Friday Night SmackDown from the O2 in London, England. This show had some pretty interesting talking points on it. Starting off, we did get Randy Orton coming out there and tease going for 15. 15 as in 15 world championships on Cody Rhodes. He said he will do it the right way and look him in the eye instead of kicking him in the balls. Drew McIntyre then comes out there and then he's saying he is going to be the one to take the world title from Cody Rhodes. As this was very interesting, man. This was a very interesting face-off, and obviously this is probably going to play eventually into the Cody Rhodes story, because you know Randy Orton is lying right to his face.
Oh, mm-hmm. Lying in wait for that snake to strike, dude.
Yeah, you know Randy Orton is not waiting to do it the right way. If he wants number 15, again, he is
He's gonna.
called the Viper or the Apex Predator for a reason. He is going to wait until the time is right, and then he's going to strike. Drew, I'm
Exactly.
sorry, bro. Maybe next year, dude.
Yeah, you'll don't, Drew. I know you're gonna get fucked again this year. Hate to break it to you, you're not winning King of the Ring, but next year you're probably beating CM Punk for the world title at WrestleMania, depending on how things go. So,
Yeah.
in Triple H fashion, dude, you gotta wait one more year. God damn it. He better fight when that thing against Punk, dude. Oh, he
Golly.
has to, dude. He has to. There's no other way out.
So, so that was that. I thought that was very cool. We finally seen a little glimpse of Rhodes and Orton. Tiffany Stratton, she had a promo where she says she has more to lose then Charlotte Flair. Because if Charlotte wins, then I lose to a legend. I lost to the great Charlotte Flair. But if I win, Charlotte loses to a blonde hair, unoriginal, backflip doing little girl. She says she is going to beat Charlotte and leave her massive ego in Vegas.
I hope so.
I really hope so. And I get the point to the promo, but Tiffany, you don't have nothing to lose. You are going into this as the champion.
You
So
have the
you have
title to lose and the momentum to lose.
yeah. So Tiffany has a lot more to lose than I think they're having her character lead on at this point. Jacob Fatu, Solo and Tama confront Jacob about not telling them about his attack on Braun Strowman during the match with LA Knight earlier in the night. And Jacob says he does not have to tell them nothing. He says, y'all did not tap in with me last week when you interrupted my match. Solo then says, you better lower your tone when you're speaking to me and Tama. Love Solo's delivery, bro.
His fucking dude, I love his fucking cadence, dude. You better lower your tone. Talking. Dude, it's so
Bro just
hilarious, man.
talks in complete unk status, bro. Complete
He
unk
really,
talk, bro.
he really does, dude. Like, why does he talk like that?
So
Yeah.
so Jacob says, okay, well, when it comes to Braun, I'm gonna be the last man standing. So y'all better get in where you fit in. Because that U.S. title, I'm bringing it home with or without you. Yarramin.
You know what I mean? And I don't know what any of this means at this point because I don't know what we're getting at WrestleMania, dude. I don't know
Ah,
if Jacob Fatu is gonna turn on the group or the dude group's gonna turn on him or they're gonna turn on Solo, dude. I, I don't this
yeah.
Mania season has been the most I don't fucking know I've ever seen, dude. I don't fucking know. I don't know where Triple H is going with this. I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't fucking know.
Yeah, Jacob, dude, you're probably my favorite person on the main roster currently right now. I
Yeah,
don't yarra mean. I
I
don't know.
got it.
I don't yarra creative means. I don't fucking know,
No,
dude.
no.
I I don't know. Is it gonna go? Is it gonna be the U.S. title again? Now it doesn't look like Jimmy's factored into that. Now it looks like maybe Braun is factored into that. I
Oh,
I I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna either way. I could say this though. Either way is a good route because either
yeah.
Jacob is more than likely walking out of WrestleMania the US champ. Either that or we're going to get a big turn from Solo at WrestleMania and then Jacob's going to go on to tell the story with Solo over the summer. And I think it'll be great. Either that or he faces Solo and we get a really good story between the two. Either way, that's going to be a really good story. It just
Good
depends on
tag
when
team
we get it.
match. Exactly. We can still get it at WrestleMania, but I doubt it at this point. Either way, no matter if it's, during the summer or at WrestleMania, I genuinely can't wait for that Solo and Fatu match. It's gonna go so hard, dude.
No, most definitely. Most definitely. So, again, I mean, it is confusing and we sometimes don't know what a majority of the time we don't know because every time it looks like they're going one way, they completely just blue ball you and they go a different way. But it's like, you know, sometimes it looks like things are going one way and then all of a sudden it's like they're not doing it anymore. Thankfully, again, what we can say and what Jacob is very fortunate of is both ways are good because
Yeah.
either of the three ways is great, right? We get a US title match and he wins it at WrestleMania. We get a US title match and Solo screws him, so we'll get a big angle with those two at WrestleMania. Either that or the Solo match happens and they're going to tell a great story for the next 3 weeks to a month of television that we have. But if it hasn't happened yet, I don't know that it does. So we might be looking till, the summer for this feud, which either way I'm excited for. And again, at least we can say with Fatu is, either way, it is gonna be good.
Most definitely, no matter what, it's really gonna be the sleeper on whatever show it's gonna be on. I cannot wait.
Yeah, and he's more fortunate than Drew McIntyre. I'll say this because Drew
Yes.
McIntyre had two routes. He could have faced Roman Reigns, or he could have faced Damian Priest, and we ended up getting the fucking Damian Priest match. So I guess he's more fortunate than somebody who had a career year last year. So shout out Jacob
This,
Fatu.
this man Drew has to face Damian Priest, and he just got glass in his eye, bro. Not catch a break, dude. Damn.
Well,
Give that man a hug, bro.
that leads me to my next topic because CM Punk is walking in the back and he sees Drew McIntyre laid out on a broken glass windshield from an attack from Damian Priest. And
I'm just crying a river.
yeah, Drew,
I think
Drew
Drew's crying.
I,
Right?
I I think I would be too if I were him. I don't blame
Yeah.
him not whatsoever. So
Apparently, I think that's what Triple H Drew McIntyre this WrestleMania season, man. Fucking goddamn.
man, did him dirty, bro.
He
Did him
really
dirty,
did, dude.
man.
I think he loaned that Triple H or something. I don't fucking know.
He must have, dude. He must have. Um, Punk sees this, he smiles, and he keeps walking. All right, so I guess Hertz, the rental car company, is not renting to pro wrestlers anymore. So uh,
Probably not, man. Probably not.
we get a contract signing to end the program tonight. Okay,
Well,
let
okay.
let's or yeah to end the program on this show. So on SmackDown. So first things first, is it just me, or do you guys hate? Again, it may just be me, bro, but I fucking hate when WWE announces a match and then they
Mhm.
do the contract signing after.
Like the contract signing is supposed to confirm the match. We're not supposed to get the graphic till after a contract signing if you're planning one of those segments. Because the contract's already signed. You can't announce a match that the guy didn't sign for. Like,
It, I don't get it.
I don't understand.
It's just I don't know. It's just maybe just a little pet peeve of mine. I just hate when WWE, like, again, last week after the SmackDown they did, the second international SmackDown they did, when they all point, the one in Bologna, Italy, they
Oh, yeah.
they all pointed at the sign. The match got announced, and then they announced a contract signing for this week. It's just like, what? Like, I thought the match was already announced. I don't know. Just
And
some,
like,
I don't know.
the segments have been good, but even like the one for the women, it was a good segment, but I was like, she won the Rumble. That's the match. There's no contract to sign.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
yeah. So the fans are singing to Roman. They're singing Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. He loves it. He puts the mic, I died, bro. He puts the mic up to Paul Heyman's mouth, and Paul Heyman is singing the fucking song with the audience while he's praying to his tribal chief.
Love it. Love Heyman, Ultimate Glazer. Some people have that name, but that name goes to no one but Paul Heyman.
Hilarious, bro. Absolutely hilarious. So, he he or Rollins comes out next and the crowd is singing his song, and Rollins puts the mic up to Heyman's mouth to get him to sing too. I thought that was hilarious. Um Rollins, he says, he comes out and he says a lot happened with between me and you. He's talking to Roman. He says, but at least I can say we accomplished our mission. Roman says we died a long time ago. It's only me. I've done all the work. I made this place what it is today. I got us $1 billion deals and made us desirable to Netflix. What have you done? Seth says that is the mindset that keeps me having to screw you. Your biggest mistake is right in front of us, and you could have cut his head off at War Games, but you shook his hand. You could have let me finish them at the Garden, but you leave me to clean up your mess yet again. Punk then comes out after all of this. He comes out and he says he is here to chew bubblegum and sign a contract. He starts looking through the contract. Roman
It's
says,
hilarious.
dude, I fucking LOL'd so hard at this. Punk is looking through this thing like he's actually like genuinely reading it. Roman gets pissed and he's like, do you need a highlighter or something? You're thumbing through this thing. He says it's on page 4, clause 5. Punk still continues to look, so Roman gets more upset. He says, wise man, for the love of God, just go show him. Just smarten him up already. So Heyman goes over there. As Roman, not very interesting to note, is Roman's having a jolly old time. Jolly old time. He looked ecstatic to be here. Genuinely, he was pumped. He's laughing, telling people to acknowledge him. He's like literally just having a jolly old time. Heyman tells Punk, "I know what you're looking for, and it's in there." Crowd oohs and ahs. Then he says, "You're closing the show." He says, "You get to live your dream. CM Punk, you are a WrestleMania main eventer."
Damn.
Let's get back to this in 1 second. So Roman then starts laughing. He says, "One man's dream is another man's favorite check." As Roman is going to now be receiving his 10th WrestleMania main event check. So,
Fucking A, dude. God damn.
yeah, no kidding. Um, Seth snaps. He says, "No, no, 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 no. He does not deserve it." He tells Punk, "Wipe those tears out of your eyes. Main eventing WrestleMania is sacred." He says, "It means the most to me, and you've never done it." Punk gets up. He wipes the tears out of his eyes, because obviously he was very emotional. Punk says, "Thank you, London. Thank you, Chicago. Thank you, Louisville. Thank you to the WWE Universe." Roman cuts him off. He says, "No, you should be thanking me. It's because of me you're the main event. It's because of me you finally get to achieve your dreams of being in the main event of WrestleMania. So why don't you just go ahead and acknowledge me?" This was the most interesting part of this whole entire contract signing to me. Punk kneels down and he says, "Tribal Chief." Paul Heyman is sitting there doing this. He's slightly shaking his head no, like don't do it. And he's shaking his head no to CM Punk. Punk kneels down
Very.
and he thanks Roman. He says, "Thank you, Tribal Chief, holder of the Ulafala, Big Dog." Roman gets a little annoyed. He says, "I will see you in the main event. But that's not the favor that I'm owed." He drops the mic and they leave you on what, in my opinion, was a very good cliffhanger. A very good cliffhanger. Man. Oh yeah, I mean that is true. I guess yeah. I guess CM Punk will. I guess to Roman will be checked off the list in terms of. I'm
Yeah.
assuming you mean opponents. I'm sure he does mean check too. I'm sure he does like that WrestleMania main event check.
Oh,
Um,
I'm sure. I'm sure that's fucking nice, dude. What those fans are paying, fucking hey, they
fuck.
better be making millions. Fuck.
Um. Okay. So this thing. All right. So this might be a bit of a hot take. Haven't really been tapping in with the IWC. I not really, again, not really tapping into what they're thinking.
What?
CM Punk getting the main event spot here and formally announcing it 4 weeks before the show, I think is a little unfair. And I think that it is a little early to announce this. So, and don't take it from me. Take it from the head of creative. Take it from Paul Levesque. Because a little bit after the Royal Rumble, he was asked on an interview, what's going to main event night one? Is it going to be Jey Uso and Gunther, or is it going to be Charlotte and Tiffany? And then they also asked him about the triple threat, and they asked him about, the possibility of CM Punk's match main eventing, and he was asked the whole thing. And he said himself, we will wait to figure out what has the most hype and what has the best build going into the show. Now, if you look at this from just name value, this is obviously your clear-cut main event. But
Hmm.
I honestly feel with your build to WrestleMania, dude, you should not be announcing the night one main event a month before the show when other things haven't even been given the month to really prove themselves or really to gain traction. You know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
if you look at Gunther and Jay, it has sucked. It has sucked up until this point. And things are now starting to heat up, but you already swept the rug out from under them to where there's not really, they're not really working for that main event spot anymore. And I feel like, morally, morally in the locker room, I feel like you shouldn't be announcing those things just to give these guys something to fight for. Like, hey, we
Yeah.
need to make this the best we can so by the time we get to WrestleMania, we can main event. You know what I mean? And I just feel like everybody got the rug swept out from under them. And again, and I'm not really saying that, the three builds for Jay, Gunther, Charlotte, Tiffany, and the women's triple threat have been spectacular. But Roman, Seth, and Punk hasn't been spectacular of a build either. And it
No.
just
Yep.
seems like they didn't get a fair opportunity to at least keep fighting for that spot. And it just seems a little it just and another thing with Punk main eventing this year, he's main eventing in a match that has no stakes. It's just big names. And that's the other thing for me with the whole Punk match and Roman and Seth is like, could this main event WrestleMania? This is a clear-cut WrestleMania main event any given day of the week. This is a clear-cut
Yeah.
WrestleMania main event. But there's no stakes. It's not for anything. They're just having it's in the main event, so I'm assuming there's going to be a big angle going down. And from the looks of it, it looks like Paul Heyman is going to turn on Roman Reigns. It looks like he's going to turn on Roman Reigns and go with CM Punk. That opens a whole nother question in itself because does Punk go heel? Does Roman turn heel with Paul Heyman sort of turning face to go with Punk? I mean, what I'm not so sure how that would work out. Because again, if you plan on having Punk go for Cena, obviously Punk would have to be a babyface.
Hmm.
And again, if you take Roman away from Heyman, then I just don't I don't under unless Heyman turns on Roman to just go with somebody completely different, like Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Braun Breaker, I don't know, somebody.
Hmm.
I'm assuming there's going to be a big angle at the main event, and I'm assuming that's why it's the main event. But it just seems like nobody really has a chance. And again, up until this point, you could say, well, everything else has sucked. Again, I say Roman, Punk, and Seth hasn't really been lighting
Big
the world
better.
on fire as it is. Again, it's not necessarily a horrifically bad build like you can say for Charlotte and Tiffany, but it also hasn't really been the best. They could have definitely done more with this. And another gripe here, man, is it just me or does Seth seem like such a third wheel in this? And it really seems like WWE wanted to do Roman Seth or Roman and Punk, but then remember that they don't really have anything for Seth, so all right, let's just
They
throw him
still
in this.
make it a triple threat. Most definitely, man. I definitely feel like he's kind of a third wheel in a lot of the elements of the story because it's all around, the favor and Heyman and Punk's friendship with Heyman and, you know, Heyman's friendship with Roman, and then it's just Seth. And he has beef with Roman and CM Punk, but it's like disconnected beef. That's just there in general. It's weird, man. Like the segment was really good. I like what they did here. Um, but like I agree with you with your sentiment about the main event and announcing it this soon. What's the incentive to try to become the main event and be
Yeah.
main event worthy for all the other programs on your show, especially with so much time you have left till Mania? If you keep up what you did tonight on Raw with Jey Uso and Gunther, I would think that'd be more of a main event than a triple threat that's not so far for
Yes.
anything we know of. Um, Even the women, they've been popping off. They gotta they're more of a triple threat than this triple threat because there's a title involved. One person was a champ, now they're not because of their beef with the other person that got the other person the title. They got a classic triple threat building up with the women, and with this it's two guys and a third wheel. Um, for the most part, and again, I like it, but I wouldn't know about, announcing it as the main event this far on. And I'm a chronic complainer about having to wait a year for things and whatnot. But this is one of the one circumstances where I think CM Punk waiting another year for that WrestleMania event would have been a little better. And again, we don't really know what exactly this main event is for because it's going to be for something around, Paul Heyman or whatever. It's going to be around the favor, but like in order for to be a main event, we should kind of know what it is going into the match. And we might know, but at least we don't know yet. And it's already the main event of night one. As of tonight, they did say it's the Saturday main event. So, what what do you get when you win? What happens after the bell rings? What's the goal? We still don't know, and it's the main event, and it's the main event. And I'm not gonna be one of those people that are like, oh, you said the Royal Rumble winner gets the main event, and they
Yeah,
don't because
yeah.
that was never the case. Fucking back in fucking
Exactly.
2015, that was never the fucking case, dude. That have been the case for like fucking 15 years now, damn near. But even then, like the story they're building up, like I said, if you keep what you did tonight with Gunther and all that, you know, that's more of a night one main event to me, if I'm being honest, from the
Hmm.
information we know going into the show. And I don't know, man. Again, it was a good segment, and like you said, with the build to this match, like a lot of these matches haven't have great build. Neither has this one. It hasn't been bad, but up until then, the whole build to this match has just been building up to this segment that built up the match better. You had two fucking Raws in a row where you just built up eventually just to this segment. Um, so it's really interesting. I don't know what the favorite is. What the favor is? It's something with Paul Heyman probably leaving Roman Reigns, and I don't want him to go to CM Punk, and I don't want him to go to Seth. That sounds ass for the people that want that shit. I'm sorry. Him going to Seth is just pure cheeks. Um, and I think no matter what, he leaves Roman. But personally, I don't even want to see him with Punk either. Maybe they could make that work and whatever, but I don't know if I even want heel Punk right now. We have heel Cena.
No.
We're about to go get heel Randy Orton in a few months. I kind of like where CM Punk sits as a
Hmm.
face because he's a face, but he's still CM Punk. He's gonna take the low blows when he needs to because he's CM Punk, and that's okay. And I think he works as a guy who's overall a good guy, but he's willing to go low when he needs to, and that's who CM Punk is. Um, and I don't want him with Heyman. If anything, I hope to me the best outcome out of this is I think no matter what he does leave Roman, um, and he just goes off and he picks a young guy to go for, whether, like you said, it's Jacob Fatu, whether it's, Braun Breaker, whether it's Bronson Reed, who knows? You have people
Ooh.
you could do it with. Because, you could do Bronson Reed. He was in War Games. He was mixing up with all those guys. Maybe he saw something in Bronson Reed
He's
or Jacob
credited
Fatu.
he's credited Paul Heyman to helping him with his promos a lot too.
Exactly. You got real history there, man. So I would much rather see Heyman, after Roman with a young guy, if that's what Heyman wants to do, because Heyman still got it. He ain't slowing down anytime soon.
Yep.
Have him go with a young guy. That's what I want. I don't want Heyman with CM Punk. I damn sure don't want him with Seth. I don't want heel Seth either. Um, I think it's babyface time still for Seth and what he's doing, and I think like a corporate Paul Heyman heel Seth, that sounds ass to me. I'm
If
sorry, I hope that's not the swerve because they could easily build it as the swerve since he's such a third wheel. They could play. I don't want that. But what were you about to say?
if you do Rollins as a heel, that and I actually could see that coming. That has to be Owens or McIntyre esque. He needs to be a
For sure.
guy driven so driven so mentally deranged because he worked his ass off and the fans still cheer for, in his eyes, scumbags like CM Punk.
Exactly. It has to be like you said, a Drew or a KO situation where he's just fed up with the shit around him, and he's
Hmm.
he's got to take matters into his own hands. And it wouldn't be in a corporate way with Paul because that's kind of what he's been going up against is guys like Roman. You could even say, a corporate-ish guy like Punk, you could say. But dude, I'm just nervous for this main event, man, because I don't like how it's already the main event, and I'm very scared for the outcome. I don't want Heyman with Punk. I damn sure don't want Heyman with Seth.
Oh.
And I'm very curious to see what this favor can be. If it's just Heyman just leaving Roman in the dust, maybe it's something along the lines of, Heyman can't interfere in the match. He can't have Heyman as backup, or again, Heyman's just done with it. I don't know, man. I just really don't want Heyman to go into the hands of Punk or Seth or any of that, and very scared for a lot of that with this triple threat, dude.
No, absolutely, man, absolutely. So like if you look at this triple threat, from again from a story standpoint, and you say, well, this is main eventing because it's the top story. You know what I mean? It's the secondary, top story of in WWE right now. Again, I go back, bro. A lot of people haven't been liking it. A lot of people shit on the segment they did in Italy last week because, or a week and a half
Same.
ago, because it was like a line and a half of promo and then just a brawl where they all pointed. And it's just like people want to see material from these guys. And this was material. And again, although it was good, we still got a month to go, bro. And again, you can sit there and say, well, Gunther and Jay's been shit, or Rhea, Io, and Bianca have been shit. The women's triple threat one, I know a lot of people don't like that, but like I haven't
It was
minded what
consistent.
I haven't minded what they did at all. I haven't minded what they did at all with those three. Instead, I actually like it. It's been week to week consistent storytelling, and I think it's good. I think it's fucking good. And again, with Jey Uso and Gunther, has it been shit up until this point? Yes. But again, up until like last week and this week, it's actually been really good, and it started to heat up. And dude, we seen color on Raw tonight.
Oh,
This man
and just
Gunther
that second.
this man Gunther was bathed in blood. He was bathed in blood, bro, and it was like emotion actually finally came off the screen from these two guys. And a month to go before the show, you sweep the rug out from under them. And again, You can sit there and say, well, it's been shit up until this point, but you do not know how it's going to be for the next month. What if these guys in the next 3 to 4 weeks make a convincing case that we need to be the main event? They go out there, they bust their ass, and put on a really, really good shit for their program and their angle going into WrestleMania. Guess what? They have already had the rug swept out from under them.
Yeah, they're not main eventing, so they could do all this that they want, and they're just gonna be probably one of the show openers for one of the nights.
And
And it's like
my guess is night two.
I think they're I could see the women's match maybe in the middle or opening night one or night. Hmm. It's very curious, man, because you got multiple matches that had that main event option, and you just gave it to the other one that really didn't need to be there at least yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, man. I don't know. And I like the sentiment of whatever would the biggest story is the main event. I always like that because if you book your show right, a fucking tag team match could be main eventing that
Look at
shit. That's what
39.
happened before. Yeah, that's what happened before. But like, you have so many stories right now that are week to week. Just if it might be very interesting or not week to week, and you
Well,
just announce a main event. Mm-hmm.
that was what I was gonna say too about the triple threat is like what happens if for the next 3 weeks that takes a nosedive creatively? You've already
Exactly.
announced it as the main event. That's why I'm sorry, you should not make the decision until 2 weeks, a week before WrestleMania, but never announce it.
Yeah.
Unless
Like,
I mean, unless it's like ginormous, like last year with the whole Rock and Roman triple threat. Obviously,
or
we
like
knew that was going on last, but I mean, again, that's why you should not be announcing this shit until 2 weeks, a week before, as to what actually main events. Because at that point, okay, you let everything play out a week, 2 weeks before the show, and then you make your final verdict on what is going to main event. But a month before the show, you can say whatever is bad or whatever is good, but what you should do is, I think, give everybody a fair chance. And I feel there's a lot of people that weren't even given a chance to get their feud taken up off the ground yet. You know what I mean? The women's
no,
triple threat hasn't even been announced yet. What happens when that get announced? What happens if that completely goes from 0 to 100 and people love it and people want that to main event? You already swept the rug out from
exactly.
under them.
They're already not the main event, no matter when that match gets announced. Whether it's next week, the week after, it's not going to be the main event. It can't be because you already fucking announced it.
And so going back to Punk, it he's getting his WrestleMania main event, and I'm so happy for him because we all know this is what he came back for, but I just really wish his WrestleMania main event had a little more at stake.
World title, or that's kind of usually most people's whole point to the WrestleMania main event is
Yeah.
your world title WrestleMania main event. Which again, it could be for something else, but like we don't know what it's for yet, and it's the main event.
Yeah, I don't understand. I really really don't understand, man. So, yeah, I mean that it just feels to me that Punk could have had a nice, decent story about winning the world championship and going on to close the show, or fighting for a world championship to go on to close the show in the WrestleMania main event. But again, this is a WrestleMania match, and it's a WrestleMania caliber match with no stakes. And that's the only part where it's kind of just like, again, I'm super happy for Punk, and I really am. He's on my Mount Rushmore, and I'm so happy he's
Oh yeah,
finally getting his main event. I just wish it would have been for a match a little more important. So,
exactly. I really wish it would be.
yeah. So, man, that was the situation with the contract signing. And again, I thought the promo I thought the promo was good. I like again, the most interesting part to me was that subtle, shaking his head from Paul Heyman, where he's just saying no, you
Reveal it.
know,
Mm-hmm.
telling him not to acknowledge Roman, but it definitely presents a lot of it presents a lot of just questions as to why this match, or what is at stake. I mean, it just, like I said, man, WrestleMania caliber match with no stakes, and that just,
Exactly.
yeah, it just kind of sucks. And again, for everybody else that is fighting for something with actual stakes behind it, it's not, it doesn't even get the next month, 3 weeks
No,
to a month of Mania build that we have to even try to get that spot.
no, there's no trying for that spot because it's taken already.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But Monday Night Raw. Well, this took place from the same arena, 20 minutes from Bell, the O2.
Yep.
The show opens up with John Cena. And holy shit.
Man, oh man.
He comes out there looking angry, per usual.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out there and he brings the mic to his mouth. And before he can even get a word out, Cody Rhodes comes out. Cody comes out and he says, "No, no, no. We've listened to you talk for 2 weeks. Allow me to do your job. I see all the discourse. You're going to cook me. You're going to end me. Where do you want to start? There's so much you can make fun of me when it comes to there's so much you can make fun of when it comes to me. For starters, I have a little bit of a lisp." Don't worry, Cody Rhodes. We all know
We
this.
know. We all know this.
He says he has a little bit of a lisp. He says sometimes with the letter S, like finish the story.
The three.
He says sometimes with the letter S, I'll give you one. Stardust. He says, I'm sure that bothers you. That's who you're facing in your final WrestleMania match, Stardust. What else? I have an arm tattoo on my neck. I got booed in a company that I created. There's so much. But I knew you were not going to bite any of that. I knew you were not going to bite on any of this. Though perhaps I'm struggling with the idea that Superman is really dead. I don't think your words have matched your actions. The last 2 weeks, you lied to this audience. You and I, we used to ride together. Wow. I didn't know they went back that far.
Yeah.
I know you I know you used to care about me at one point, but I know for sure you used to care about them, and you really need to tell them why. He says, Cena then grabs the mic. He says, I'm not going to reduce myself and punch down to your level just to protect you. Cody Rhodes, you've been protected long enough, so I'm not going to cook you. I'm going to bury you. Just like I buried everyone else they've been saying for years, that John Cena buries talent. I don't bury talent, I am talent. I bury mediocrity, and I don't give a rat's ass about your lisp or your failures. You've manipulated your way to the top of this business, but your ego outmatches your ability. All you've done is ride the coattails of my success. I've been so great. WWE handed the heartbeat of this organization to my chauffeur, Cody Rhodes. Your champion is nothing more than my chauffeur, a slimy pickpocket who stole the blueprint and thinks he can run the kingdom. There's your why, Cody Rhodes, because you, with that, as he points at the title, disgust me. You sat by my side for years. You stole every secret, and you needed to be undeniable. But you're still underwhelming. I tried to drill it into your egotistical skull that you have to be authentic because they can see right through your because they can see right through phony. You're too polished, too rehearsed. You rely on lazy gimmicks like them singing your name over and over again to get by. The crowd starts singing the Cody, Cody Rhodes. Cena starts laughing. He says, all you've done is trick these people with a catchy tune to buy into mediocrity. Strip away your music and your entrance. You're nothing more than a pinstripe suit. But you can walk me out here in silence, and you can bet I will body you before your first breath. Cody doesn't act like me, doesn't look like me, damn sure doesn't work like me. But Cody, you don't look like you, act like you, or work like you, because after all these years, you're afraid to show who you are. So, what are you getting? So what are we getting instead? Cody gives us a generic mix of every superstar he's ever loved or TV show he's ever watched, and some big confused blob that makes you look like a 16-year-old taking acting classes who's still afraid of public speaking. You've showed me one thing, and that one thing you showed me is someone mediocre wearing something meaningful, which nowadays is enough to trick these people. And I've worked too damn hard to make that title a symbol of mastery, to have some paint-by-numbers sociopath Nepo baby who is so into himself he has his wrestling gimmick tattooed on his neck for the world to see. And it's not where your tattoo is, or it's not where your tattoo is at, it's where your tattoo is that exposes you to the world. Exposes you for a common fan just like them. So after WrestleMania, you can go straight to Fanatics and buy the toy belt that they buy, and you can call yourself a champion, because the last real champion is taking that belt home forever and exposing you for who you are, an errand boy that got lucky. There's your why, pal.
Man.
There is nothing better than a John Cena balls to the fucking walls promo.
Oh, yeah.
When
Those, like, damn near out of breath where he just keeps going, dude. Those are the best.
So Cody, I gotta give it to Cody, bro. This man stood his own against John Cena on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Cody grabs the mic. He says, you know, John, maybe you're right. Maybe I was chosen. But you know who chose me? They chose me. Points to the audience. He says, can you say the same? Or was it one guy in an office who's not here anymore and we don't talk about anymore?
Hey.
Ooh. He says, strip away everything, and sure, maybe I don't know who I am, but who the hell knows who they are? I'm a wrestler like my father, and if anyone is a company creation, it's you, John Cena, not me. Everyone is so terrified of you on the mic. I'm not, because I know you got more dick in that promo than you got in them jorts.
Hey.
You want to make fun of me for acting like I'm 16, but you're the one hanging out with Zac Efron wishing he was 16. There's a little Ricky Stenicki for you.
Hey.
What a softball by you saying you created all of this and you even created me. Here's what you created. A lot of disenfranchised fans who made it easy for me to pack up and go elsewhere and say, look at me. Don't act like you cleaned your room up before you left and went to Hollywood, John. Don't act like you left WWE better than you found it. And while you're at it, there are two of us standing in this ring right now, and I'm about to ask you a question that punched a giant hole in that logic that you just threw up. And it's quite simple. Between you and I, which one of us sold out to The Rock? He says, John, you're still my hero, but you're also a piece of shit. God damn. And there's more. There's fucking more, bro. So, Cena gets on the mic and he says, just like all these people, your brain is filled with feces, not facts. I work 100 times harder than you, and never once in all that time was I ever protected from an audience, a superstar, present company included, from taking their best shot at me. And as a matter of fact, every time I step on this canvas, it's a challenge to every arena or every superstar dumb enough to take their strongest swing at me. No one has been worthy. So, I decided to do it myself because no matter how high the hill is to climb or what garbage they gave me, I found a way to make it great. You had to leave. You had to leave because you realized that at your best, you can't wipe my ass. I make empires for billionaires. All you have ever done is steal money from their kids.
Oh, Tony Khan's pissed.
I
Oh God.
immediately said, oh, here comes the Twitter tirade from Tony Khan later.
Steal that money from me. I fucking made a ball gun.
It's
And
my
you
money.
left me.
My dad was going to inherit the shit anyway. That's my
I
fucking
spent
money.
fucking I spent all the fucking money I want because I'm fucking rich.
I
Oh
actually
dude,
spent all my fucking money on Mercedes money. I spent all my fucking money on Okada.
Cody's contract is nothing compared to Okada and Mercedes. Nothing.
Holy shit.
Man. Fucking shooting at each other, man.
Damn.
I didn't even say, dude.
What do
Besides
you
just
say?
damn. Besides just damn.
This is why, for years, me and Sir K have said, before it is all said and done for John Cena, the Cody Rhodes match needs to be in there. Because of
Mm-hmm.
shit like this, you knew John Cena was gonna fucking poke at AEW, and he was gonna poke at Tony Khan. Actually, Cody ended up bringing it up himself. I got booed in the own company I created. And then John here with another, I make empires for billionaires, and all you did is steal money from their kids. Dude,
Exactly, man. Dude, it was perfect, dude. Two characters that were so perfect to go against each other because they're they're, they're just different sides of the same coin. It just worked out differently for each guy, and it's so incredible. This matchup is perfect, and I'm glad we got it because, like you said, dude, when Cody came back, that was the one match that we kept saying we needed because it was perfect, dude, and it's perfect. I
yeah.
lived up to every bit of hype and greater.
1,010%, dude. Listen, Bell. I know you may think Tony Khan can't talk because he did mention John Cena from the Title Tuesday thing. But who are we kidding, man? Tony Khan he's a rich guy. He doesn't really, I don't think he really anticipates people clapping back at him without him getting upset. Even though even though this is his receipt, I'm sure he probably thinks, John Cena should never give him the receipt. So he's going to be very butthurt. But hypothetically, should he be upset? No, this is his receipt, but you know how Tony Khan is.
You had to get Undertaker and John Cena to beat Dynamite, and now Ricky Starks just is beating Dynamite on the other show, man. So just look at, well, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Exactly, and you guys were just sprinting, and you're out of breath. But back to the fucking topic at hand,
Man,
man.
yeah.
Phenomenal promo, dude. Phenomenal work from both these guys, and dude, they match up so perfectly, dude. It's so perfect.
Perfect, bro. Absolutely, absolutely perfect. I loved this from top to bottom. Everybody kept saying, we haven't got the why from John Cena. He hasn't talked back to Cody Rhodes. This has been so good. This is what scares me for the next month of TV because after
Fuck,
this, John Cena is, as far as we know, John Cena is done until WrestleMania. I mean, there's no shows that he is advertised for until WrestleMania. So this is what scares me because Cody's not going to be able to keep this up for the next 3 weeks
3 weeks?
on his own.
No, yeah, yeah, it's scary, dude. It's scary. I hope we get a John Cena appearance here and there, and I hope we get something, man, because if it's just this, ooh, man, you're gonna need more to go off, and because this is
Yeah.
incredible. This is a segment of the year, but you still need more. Yeah, you're building for
Yeah.
WrestleMania. You got 3 weeks left. You need to keep the hype, the momentum.
100%, man. So Cena goes to leave the ring. Cody says, hey, hold on, hold on, hold on. I just want to remind you, all the time that I've been here and everything that I've been through in this company, never once have they chanted at me, you can't wrestle.
Damn.
Cena gets pissed. He lunges in the ring. He then stops and he smiles. He goes to get out of the ring, goes for a cheap shot on Rhodes, but Rhodes hits Cena. Rhodes hits Cena with a crossroads, laying him laid out in the middle of the ring as see, if you are going to play your cards right, you would keep Cena off next week.
Mm.
And then if he isn't advertised for anything, obviously he won't be there next week. You got to have him in there to sneak attack Cody Rhodes and just beat the living shit out of him like we seen at the Elimination Chamber. You have
Uh,
to.
it, you gotta have not next week because obviously he's obviously gonna miss next week because of this attack and whatnot. He's not advertised, but the next Raw you gotta have Cody go there and play up like yeah Cena he's not gonna be here anymore because he doesn't care whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and Cena attacks him like that. That's how you gotta do it, dude.
Yep. Whether you do something in the ring, whether you go Rock style from last year and have him beat the fuck out of him in the parking lot, something. It's gotta be.
Um,
I mean, when I tell you Cena needs to obliterate this man somewhere in the build to this WrestleMania, then
it,
it needs to happen, dude. It needs to
maybe
somewhere in there.
if you it's something like that needs to happen. Like say you could do a rock thing. You could do maybe Cena isn't there, but cuts the feed. And maybe Cena's at Cody's house, and maybe he fucks with his house and his family, and you got stuff you can do, but you got to do something after this. You can't leave it on this. You can't.
Was he fucking hanging out with Adam Page? He gets to
Maybe
get a jerry can from him and light the man's house on fire.
maybe he's gonna give his daughter some merch, man.
Oh my
Maybe.
god! Give her some farewell merch.
Never fucking old fucking seen it up like the one kid that got cooked, bro.
So, yeah, there's gotta be something. There's gotta be something, man, where John Cena again just obliterates the man, and I fully still expect John Cena to win this match at WrestleMania. And two, they aired a promotion for. I don't know if you've seen this. It was like at the bottom of the screen. It was like a little ticker tape
Okay.
of the Backlash ad, and the two people that were on the two little renders they had on that Backlash ad were Randy Orton and John Cena. So
Hmm.
I think Randy Orton is going to be going for number 15 a lot quicker than anticipated.
I think so. I think so, and I think he's gonna be facing probably Cena at Backlash, man, or
Yep.
some variation of that, most
So
definitely.
I know I originally had Owens to win the match against Orton. I'm pivoting my thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and say Orton wins this. He punts Kevin Owens, and we don't see Kevin Owens back until closer to Money in the Bank. I'm still going with my
Yeah,
Money in the Bank victory. Um, I'm still going with I'm still going with my Money in the Bank victory for Owens to cash in on Jay. I think that's going to be the way to go. But as far as Orton, it looks like we're gonna get a punt at WrestleMania, and it looks like he's good. We're gonna do the Cena match, and I think that's great. And obviously that match is for the WWE Championship. So Cena wins number 17 at Mania, no question.
oh yeah, no question. It's got to be Cena. Everything falls apart if he loses, man. He has to win. There's no other way to go.
So that was that. And actually, this week I can't even say that was a carry job
Oh,
because there was some other good stuff on the show, man.
it
And
was.
we got we got the New Day And see, my original thinking with that, Bell, was I was originally thinking like, okay, Owens wins and then, he goes on to win Money in the Bank. But I mean, I guess it wouldn't hurt him at all if he were to lose and then just be out. And then the next time we see him, he's just on a winning streak and then just wins the Money in the Bank eventually. So I would
Hmm.
definitely, that's definitely what I'm seeing now. So yeah,
Exactly. Even if you want to like get get the win back, you could just have, as Kevin Owens, Mr. Money in the Bank, you could run the Randy match back at SummerSlam or something and
true.
have, KO get a victory back again.
Yep.
You could always just go back and reverse that.
Very true. New Day are out here and they're trying to get back into the tag team title hunt. Who is their um opponents? Well, Adam Pearce comes out and he announces their opponents as the returning Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, New Catch Republic. And then we hear their corny ass New Catch Republic fucking intro to their theme song is god awful.
With
Um,
the fucking PBS Kids ad.
so
Hey, yeah. Today.
so here's the thing, dude. When they initially said Tyler Bate, he got a bit of a reaction, and they were slightly singing for him during the match. But dude, I hold London, I hold the UK, I hold any of those European places at a very high standard. And for him to get that kind of reaction, he
Mm,
basically got close to nothing. In UK standards, or in really all of Europe standards, that was a. I mean, they got no reaction, man. Not much
no.
at all.
And it's something I noticed all throughout tonight. It was the best European episode of Raw we got,
Yeah.
and it was better than a US crowd. But out of the three we got so far, this was definitely the weakest European crowd of this whole tour, if I'm being honest,
What
from
was
what
your
I've
favorite?
seen. I think the first one was the
I would
hottest,
I
if
would
I'm
say
being
Belgium,
honest.
right? Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
I, I think they were the hot. They were like,
They were
dude, that episode of Raw,
electric.
that whole show, they wouldn't shut up, and it was great.
Yeah.
But like tonight, I would say, sorry, Bill, but out of the European shows we got, London was the weakest. Again, no American crowd, obviously, thank God. But
Yeah.
out of the other ones, it was the weakest.
Yeah, I I wish, like you said, that's not saying anything bad about London because London London tonight was better than any US crowd minus Chicago
Oh,
that you can possibly even sniff. So I mean it's just I mean I'm not let's just say I'm not excited for them to go back to the US, and I'm also
no.
I like coming on here with Unscripted in the afternoon. I mean, we're going to be back running it back in August, but August can't come
And
soon enough because it's going to suck being back at fucking 10 o'clock, man. But it is what it is. Um,
I think Scotland was a little better, if I'm being honest, Bill. I'm sorry.
I,
A little
yeah,
better.
I would. I feel Scotland might have been, yeah, I feel Scotland might have been a bit better as well, to be honest. It was
I
definitely,
think.
yeah, I mean, like I bet you guys are better than about again every
Mm,
U.S. crowd there is. Um, but
but yeah,
it was for the three Raws we got on the European tour. London was definitely the weakest. Number one would definitely be the one 2 weeks ago with Brussels. I mean that was just
oh,
nuts.
they were insane. But
Hmm.
again, you guys are great. You aren't a boring ass American crowd, but comparing it,
Wait till you
you
see
weren't as
Minnesota next week. It's gonna be a bunch
uh,
of motherfuckers sitting on their hands. That's what it's gonna be.
I don't remember Scotland being that quiet last week. Maybe I'll have to like go back and peep some of the crowd reactions, but I don't remember them being that quiet last week.
I feel Scotland would have gave Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne maybe a little bit better of a reaction. The returning hometown guy got a bad reaction, dude. Bad. I mean,
Come on,
that was I was like, man, that's all they got for Tyler Bate, bro. Like shit. So so
sorry to come at your people,
I'm
Bill,
sorry.
but
I'm sorry,
sorry,
Bill.
sorry. No, I'm always ribbing you, UK and
Bell,
whatnot, but
Bell. To be fair, Bell is constantly pressing our buttons, dude.
she mainly yours, if I'm being honest. But
All right,
I'm
whatever.
sorry, Bill. It's
Fuck you,
just
dude. Listen, I'm so sorry. See, Bell, I don't even press your buttons as much as Sir K does, but Bell's always coming
uh,
at me. I don't know.
I think you know how to press a button, man. But
Look,
uh,
man, I don't know what you're talking about. So
yeah, you're starting my dynasty.
so, hey, what can I say? So the New Day beat New Catch Republic, the returning New Catch Republic, with a daybreak. They did not pin Tyler Bate, so that, I mean, at least that's good. But damn,
But like,
my
you
boy
just
Tyler Bate, bro, fresh, coming back. He looks like young 19-year-old boy Tyler Bate, and it, he he comes back and he fucking loses, dude. I mean, kind of sucks, but I mean, I guess I understand you're trying to recover the New Day from doing nothing with them for the past 3 months ever since they turned on Big E. So, I mean, I guess I get it. It just sucks to see because I know how good Tyler Bate is ridiculously underrated, and Pete Dunne is great as well, man, and they have serious potential as a tag team. I think they maybe need to get a little bit more character fleshed out for the both of them, and maybe get the crowds more behind them, but man, I mean, it does. I would be lying if I did say it sucked to see a lack of a reaction for Tyler Bate. Because he is so good, man, and it does suck to see. But at the end of the day, I mean, I understand with what you're trying to do with the New Day at the same time. Again,
it
it sucks for the other team as well.
it does, man. It does, and I know Triple H loves having people lose in their home country for some reason. Or if you're American, your home state. He loves having you lose when you're like home, quote unquote. So it's not new, man. It's just like, damn, one of those, man. And Bell, I get it. More home country, but even like there's people that aren't from the city of Chicago, but if they're like from the state, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm home," when they're doing a Chicago show. That's just kind of how those things work.
Well, I don't even know what a Cockney accent is.
I couldn't tell you.
I
I'm sorry, Bell.
I am
I could
not.
tell you American accents. I cannot tell you the difference between British accents. I
I
know there is. I can't tell you the difference. I'm sorry.
I could decipher like
A
London,
pink one?
England, and like Australian, but not like little sub areas of
No.
the UK.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Because
couldn't.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure this is probably just me, growing up in America. I could absolutely decipher like Florida, California, like Southern New York, Chicago. Um,
Midwestern, New
yeah,
York, the whole New Jersey.
yeah.
I could tell you that's all of them, man. But dude, I'll literally see in the comments of like get people like actors getting British accents wrong, and I'm like, dude, I get that they are right. I just can't tell the difference. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not at
I'm
all. That's why we have you,
sorry.
Bill. That's
It's
why
fine.
you're
It's
here.
fine.
That's why you are
You are
community
our
outreach for the Notorious Heels podcast. So,
you are our information for the UK because I don't know anything. I'm sorry.
exactly. So, so, um, Jimmy Uso is in the back and he is telling Jay, you know, Gunther, yes, he is a big deal, but so are you. And so am I. And I'm going to take care of him tonight. They dap up. Jay pulls him back in and he says, dude, be careful. He says, okay. So we go into the next match, and Jimmy was not careful because Jimmy faced Gunther, and he um
Adele, like
I'm gonna leave Bell
Adele,
to
like the singer.
yes. Yes.
Oh,
Be,
she's
Be,
British.
Bell is yeah, you didn't know that?
Dude, I didn't even know Lyra was fucking from Scotland, bro.
She's not from Scotland, she's
Well,
from Ireland.
yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna just stay quiet. No, I
Listen,
finally actually heard her talk for once tonight, so
Bell
it's more of
is
a Triple H problem.
I am actually well inept to Bell's fandom for Adele and Beyonce. I see it all up and down my Twitter
I
wall.
do,
So
I do see that a lot on Twitter for just all the women artists.
I do see that all the time, Bell. So um Gunther and Jay have they have a match, and it's sort of competitive at first, but then it
Mhm.
just turns into Gunther chopping this man, power bombing him, pinning him, but then breaking up the pin himself. I mean, he wanted to hurt him. He wanted to hurt him, man. So he's power bombing him, and he is just beating the shit out of him. He ends up beating him with a sleeper hold. He keeps him in. He keeps him in the hold after the match. Jay comes out for the save. Gunther and Jay kind of fight. Gunther runs off into the crowd and never to be seen or heard from again. So we think. We come back from commercial, and he's carrying Jay. Jay is carrying Jimmy out of the arena. And Gunther comes back from the crowd, attacks both of them, throws Jay up against the stairs. He throws him up against the stairs. He grabs a pair of thick zip ties, and he wraps his hands up, and he ties him to the middle rope. Bro, what did I say, bro? What did
What
I
did
say?
you
I said handcuffs, but they did zip ties, so
same thing?
same difference. But dude, this is fantastic. I mean, this segment right here again exuded emotion out of this whole entire thing. And Jim was telling Jay last week, I need the right hand man. I need the guy that was always pissed off, and I need the guy that always had the chip on his shoulder. This is what we need. This is what we need to exude this out of Jay. Again, and like I said last week on Unscripted, now that this has happened, I don't want to see no more yeeting. Let the crowd chant it. Jay needs to be locked
No.
in until April 19th or 20th. Whatever. They're not going on the 19th, or maybe they will be in the middle of the fucking card, but he needs to be locked in. He needs to be locked in with whatever he's doing. Again, the crowd could still yeet. They paid their money. They can do whatever the fuck they want in those stands. Jay needs to be a man possessed, a man waking up on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this storyline
Exactly.
needs, man. So he's Jay is pissed. He's telling Gunther, dude, I'm gonna kick your ass, bro. Like, let me out of this. He's screaming at him, and Gunther's holding the world championship. He's telling him, come on. Jimmy gets on the apron. Gunther whacks him across the head with the championship. Starts talking more shit to Jay. Jimmy comes to get back in the ring. He's crawling, and you just see blood, quite a bit of blood, pouring from this man's face, dude. Pouring from his face. And he is, again, just blood just pouring from this man's face. And Gunther starts beating the shit out of this man. He's clubbing him in the face. He's punching him in the face. I mean, he's wiping his blood all over him. Gunther is literally bathed in Jimmy's blood. he then has he then has he has Jimmy. He gets Jimmy in a sleeper hold, and this was a great visual because Jay is yelling at Gunther, "Come here!" And he's trying to grab Jimmy, and he's trying to grab at Gunther to pull him near him. I seen some people on social media saying that Gunther, while he had the sleeper hold in, was calling Jay a pussy or something like that.
They're
Crazy.
all crazy. You hear what Jay said?
Nah, I might have.
Jay said, Jay said, "I'm gonna kill your ass."
Oh yes, I did
They're
hear
going,
that. Yes, I did hear that. Um,
and he was calling Jimmy like John and shit. That dude, man,
Crazy work, dude. Crazy work. So trying to see, yeah, I did see. Man, I can't find it right now, but I did see that. Yeah, I did see that he when he had Jimmy in the sleeper hold, he was looking at Jay and said like, "Come on, you pussy," or something like that. Which I mean, dude, this is what I'm asking for, bro. I mean,
yeah,
this is it. This is it, dude. This is it. I mean, great stuff. And again, finally exuded some type of emotion from this feud as Gunther is holding the world championship up, bathed in Jimmy's blood, and he's holding it up right in front of Jay's face. And this was fucking great. Last week was great, and this week was fucking great as well. This week was
mhm,
fantastic, man. And this is what we needed to see when Gunther told Jay, "I'm going to make your life a living hell." This is what
it's
we
it.
needed to see. This is a living hell.
Exactly. This is exactly what needed to happen, and this was overdue, man. I love this segment. We always said, oh, he's got to do something to Jay. He's got to take, Jimmy. I mean, he's got to do something to Jimmy. He's got to take Jimmy out. That's what he did. I would have never expected blood, and there was a shit ton of it. It looked incredible. He beat the fucking life out of Jimmy, dude, and that's perfect. And like you said, dude, no more yeeting from Jay, dude. He's got to lock the fuck in and he's got to be a man on the mission, determined to get it back for his brother, man.
Yep.
Because he had no more games, dude. He needs that chip on his shoulder.
1000%. We need to see that pissed off right hand man that was just refusing to accept Sami Zayn's existence in his bloodline.
Mm,
I mean, again, a man on a mission is what we need to see from now on as far as Jey Uso is concerned. But dude, for the second week in a row, man, this was good shit. This was fucking great stuff, man. I loved everything they did. Well needed emotion added to this whole storyline here.
almost definitely, man. And I hope they could keep this energy, dude. I really hope they can.
For sure, bro. We get Judgment Day. Not Braun, Dominic and Finn Balor versus Braun and Penta. Braun accidentally speared Penta. He went to spear Finn. He accidentally speared Penta. They took care of Braun after this happened and Finn hit Pentagon with a coup de grace as the Judgment Day win the match. And Braun Breaker and Penta were arguing in the match, and Penta was cursing at him in or he was talking to him in Spanish, and he kept calling him stupid. So Braun Breaker was obviously not happy about this, and these two were not happy. And there was actually a little more development later in the night with these two guys. But as far as this match, the match was fine, and it obviously built to something a little later in the show, which we're about to go over here in just a second. But no, I mean it was good for what it was.
It was good. It was a good, nice tag team match. Good, good flow. All good guys in the ring, and it did its job. I like how they set that finish up as the accidental spear, and then Finn with the coup de grace right to that same spot. I think they did it perfectly. And hey, man, Finn Balor pinned someone. Look at that, man. How long has it been? How long has it been since he's done something like that? Good for him. He's pinned somebody.
He, dreams come
I
true,
couldn't
bro.
even tell you. Genuinely couldn't tell you the last time he pinned someone clean.
God. What was the last thing we heard? He hasn't won a singles match since December of
Was
2023, or was it something like that?
it was something like that, I think, man.
God,
My God,
um,
fuck.
crazy, 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 crazy stuff. AJ Styles, he comes out here to call out Logan Paul. That he does. He calls out Logan. Logan comes out. He says he's a global phenomenon. And if he wants to take all the time in the world, the fans have to wait. He tells AJ he had a change of heart. And since he's a girl dad now, he wants to teach his daughter the art of forgiveness. He says he forgives AJ for what happened at MSG, but he doesn't forget. So don't pull that crap again. AJ says he has a daughter too. So he forgives Logan. He forgives Logan for being the biggest douchebag to ever step in a WWE ring. He says he comes out here and brags about his money and all his fame. He says, dude, these fans don't care about that. These fans care about what you're willing to sacrifice in this ring for them. He told Logan he has all the talent in the world. He says, I'll give it to you. You do. But the question is, what are you going to do with it? Logan says, listen, I'll tell you what I'm not going to do with it. I'm not going to take advice from anybody that I would not want to trade places with. AJ says, that's cute. That's cute. You know what else they say? Don't let your mouth write a check that your ass cannot cash. Logan says he's done talking and he doesn't fight for free. He says London cannot afford him. Bell, is this true?
I don't.
Is it?
I don't think it's true.
Hey, look, dude, we're not from the UK.
We are from the UK. I don't
We
know.
can't even decipher the accent. I need
can't.
Bell's opinion. I need Bell's formal opinion on this.
I do need the formal opinion. How could you guys afford Logan Paul?
Can you afford him, Bell? You guys got heavy pockets or what? So he
Well, apparently
says
Tony Khan can't afford him anymore, but
he's, he's he says well, AJ, let's call a spade a spade. AJ, I know you want that big money match, so let's set our sights a little higher. He looks up to the WrestleMania sign, and AJ and him break out in a brawl. AJ's whooping his ass outside of the ring. Pat McAfee goes, this is a little Bullet Club AJ Styles for you.
I'm glad you caught that too. I was like, oh wow.
I was like, oh, that's sick, dude. That is sick. Little Bullet Club AJ for you. Okay. All right, Pat.
Just like it was, sometimes they allude to it, and he just straight up said it. I was like, damn, he just said that.
He just said it, bro.
I'm happy.
That was awesome. That was awesome to hear.
That was a dope line. Mm-hmm.
He then gets in the ring and hits him with a pulverizer. Actually, a very sick move, and AJ took it well. Very well, actually. That is a beautiful picture perfect. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was that. And the match did get confirmed after the show for WrestleMania. I don't know why they don't put these graphics up on the TV show. I don't know why they always announce it on Twitter afterwards. I would like if maybe a couple segments later, they said, Adam Pearce was dealing with, signing for this match, or Adam Pearce just made it official, WrestleMania, Logan Paul and AJ Styles, but instead they just throw a tweet up. I wish they would, formally announce it on the TV show. Just a little nitpick of mine, though.
I agree with you. Not everyone's on Twitter, especially for the WWE audience.
Twitter has been taken over by a lot of the all elite basement dwellers. So
exactly.
So Judgment Day. They are backstage. Finn and Dom, they come back into the locker room with Carlito, the fifth wheel, and the sixth wheel, actually, if you count JD. he comes they all come in together, and they're hype about, winning their match. Finn, he's bragging. He says, "We got the victory." And man, I got the better of Braun Breaker for 2 weeks in a row, and tonight I pinned Penta. We won because of me, and I have all this momentum going into WrestleMania season, and that brings me, it is WrestleMania season, so let me go talk to Adam Pearce about this. Everyone is
Mm-hmm.
smiling, and everyone's happy for Finn. He walks away, and Liv says, "Dom, did you hear what he just said?" Dom says, well, yeah, he got the win for us. And Liv says, he said he got the win. He said he got the win, not you guys. She said he already had his opportunity against Braun and he lost. He should be thanking you. But you know what? As soon as he's done talking to Pearce, I'm going to go talk to Pearce. And he actually tries to talk Liv down. He says, well, she puts her finger over his mouth, and she says, "No, I'm going to go talk to Pearce as soon as he's done," and walks away. I think we all know where this is going. I think Finn Balor is going to end up getting a match that Dominic is going to be put in because of Liv Morgan. And just when things are looking good for Finn, now they're
Mm-hmm.
starting to really get fed up with him undermining them and their tactics. So this obviously means, hopefully, the night after WrestleMania, we finally get a breakup, which we discussed on Friday. I could very well see Dominic being the one to pin Balor and take the Intercontinental Championship. Finn's obviously going to be mad, so the next night on Monday Night Raw, he's going to come out pissed, and they're going to turn on him. I could see that.
Exactly. I definitely think that's the course. I think we're getting the fatal four way. I think that's just what obviously you got the beef with Penta and Braun, and then you got this, these two guys going for the same thing in the same group kind of thing. I think
Yeah.
we're definitely getting that fatal four way, man. And if I'm being honest, I'm agreeing. I think Dom might win, and I think we get the turn on the Raw after Mania.
Yeah. I could absolutely see that because I could very well see Dom winning in Dom fashion. You know what I mean? I could see him, you know, I could see, Finn getting hit with a Mexican destroyer into a spear, and then Dom throws him out of the ring, throws both guys out of the ring, and then takes the cover for himself. But he pin Balor, right?
Right.
And obviously that would be the final straw for Finn Balor because you literally won the championship by fucking pinning me. So I could definitely see that being the last straw. He comes out pissed, but they have other plans and they turn on him. So yeah.
Hmm.
And the main event, we had Bianca Belair as the special guest referee for the women's championship match between Rhea and Io Sky. I was kind of thinking maybe Rhea would win, but they already signed a contract with Io and Bianca, so I was maybe thinking that would have been Io's way to stay in the match. Either that, or I thought exactly what happens here, and that
Hmm.
Io was going to keep the title, and Rhea was just going to get fucked out of another victory. So, um, one of the options I was thinking happened. Rhea Ripley had Io Sky beat, but Bianca was down. So obviously the fans counted to like 10 while she had her pinned, but there was no ref. Bianca or Rhea gets Bianca up, and these two start bickering with each other. And they're bickering so much, Io comes off the top with a springboard drop kick. Rhea moves, kicks Bianca. Bianca flies out of the ring and she walks over by the timekeeper area, and she just says she says fuck it, this match is done. Double disqualification. Both of these ladies are done, because they're obvious at this point. They're just, I think Rhea punched her in the face, and then she just gets drop kicked right after this. So she called the match off. Rhea is in the ring. She's biting the top rope. She's so pissed. She then starts attacking these women. So they're, again, Rhea's just beating the shit out of both of them. She hits both of them with a riptide. She's obviously furious. She goes to leave the ring. Crowd chants one more time. So she gets Bianca on the top rope and hits her with a avalanche riptide as Rhea Ripley ends the show while going off the top. With a, like I said, an avalanche riptide to Bianca and holding up the women's championship with both women laid out beneath her feet, man. So obviously, I think we all know kind of where this is going. We all know this is going to be a Rhea Ripley. We all know this is going to be a Rhea Ripley, you know, inclusion in this match eventually. I mean, she continues to beat the shit out of both women, so I'm sure this is going to lead somewhat to Rhea Ripley being added to this match. I mean, there's no way that doesn't happen, right?
Exactly. That's the obvious path it's been taking, and tonight just even more confirms that she got fucked out of her match tonight. Even though they kind of did the only nitpick with the match and what happened tonight was they did the thing where Rhea Ripley obviously hits Bianca even though it was accidental, and then she still went for a pin after she knew Bianca was out
Yeah.
of the ring. That was my only nitpick. I hate those moments in these type of matches or any match because it happens a lot in nowadays with WWE when people fucking beat up any bloodline match, for example.
Yeah. Yep.
Always a little nitpick with those moments. I never like those moments, but other than that, what they did tonight was good. They've been really consistent with the story, man. Fortunately, they're not in contention for a main event anymore. Um, but overall, I think what they're doing is good, and Rhea Ripley's obviously gonna be added to this match, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, I mean, yeah, it's the natural progression of the storyline, man. But again, I can appreciate WWE for creating week to week television that is somewhat compelling. And even though you
Mhm.
know where it's going to go, they're clearly making an effort to make the route to get there interesting because we have a month to blow through. So, why are we just up and announcing, Rhea Ripley, as a part of this match when, there can be a story, there can be a climb for her to get there. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate the attempt at, just trying to tell a story behind it because they could have easily took the easy way out and said, oh my God, Rhea signed the contract. That means she's in the match, and then threw up the graphic. But no, they again, they wanted to, they went a route that's easily more compelling than, again, just blowing it off in a week or two. So I can appreciate that.
Exactly. Most definitely, man.
So that was that. One thing I forgot to mention for SmackDown, did you hear the new ring announcer?
I did, and he's good. He's good. I mean, a lot of people are like really hyping him up, and again, he's good, but nothing so far. He just started, so obviously, but nothing mind blowing yet for me. But he is good, man. But what do you think about him?
Yeah, he does have a good voice. It is very high pitched. Um, it is very high pitched, and maybe sometimes he sounds a little too happy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Which, you can have a high pitched voice but have some bass in it, like Justin Roberts. He's
Hmm.
he can definitely hit the high notes, but he still keeps that bass in his voice. um he just sounds very high pitched but not a lot of bass in his voice, so he kind of just sounds very happy on the mic, which for certain
Yeah.
talent is kind of odd. um like
Listen to fucking Karrion Cross all happy and shit.
Yeah, like I seen him announce the Street Profits. Like the Street Profits with their new attitude, I feel there should be some bass involved in that. Like
Yeah.
like when Samantha Irvin would announce the Bloodline, she was a Solo Sikoa. She wouldn't say Solo
Yeah.
Sikoa. She
Yeah.
she put a little bass and a little grit in her voice. But you know, I mean, he was all right. He was all right, but then again, I also did not really like Samantha Irvin at first. I also didn't really like Alicia Taylor at first, but both of them obviously grew on me huge. So
Hmm.
it is up to see how much he does grow on me. But for night one, it is. I mean, it was okay. It was okay. I can say that it wasn't anything, egregious. He wasn't, it wasn't like nails on a chalkboard or anything like that. I thought he did okay, and I'm interested to see if he does end up growing on me. So yeah,
Most definitely. I hope he does. He probably will.
for sure, bro, for sure. So yeah, that is that, and that is pretty much everything we have here today for you fine folks, man, as that is everything for your week of wrestling. So, yeah, that is gonna do it for this edition of Unscripted. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been so much fun.
Really. I'm
Literally,
gonna miss
dude,
this time frame.
I'm gonna miss
Oh,
this. I'm gonna miss this time slot so much. But we will be
oh.
back in August, and we will be doing our thing. Here with the early
Hmm.
unscripteds. But dude, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for a great 3 weeks of unscripted. It's been awesome. It's been awesome doing the earlier time slot. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it, man. But nonetheless, man, it's been fun. It was a good time, not a long time. And I can't wait for it again. So thank you guys so very much. Thank you guys so very much. It's truly been awesome. For as much shit as I love to give her, it's been awesome having Belle here with us on the Monday
It
show
has been.
for some
I
of the
love it.
weeks, man. And it's been awesome. It's been awesome to just tap in with some of you guys on earlier, when some of you guys, I know everybody can't really join Unscripted. Unscripted is normally late, and that's understandable because we do like to
Mhm.
play to the people that are up late as well. So, for that, it has been fun, man. But this is gonna be it until August, and I'm sure WWE will do a bunch more. This has been a boatload of fun. I want to thank you guys so very much for the past 3 weeks. It's been awesome as we close in here on 5 years of NHP. This has been something that we've never done for Unscripted. Is come on with an earlier time slot live, and this is something I can't wait to do again. This has been a boatload of fun, and I appreciate all the love, man.
Truly, I always appreciate it. Love the different time slots, and glad we could be live for them. And I'm glad we have people that join us when we're live for them. So thank you guys so much.
No doubt, bro. No doubt. So, with that, that is going to do it for this edition of NHP Unscripted. This has been episode 241. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you guys, everybody who came out. Belle, Lonnie, thank you guys so very much for joining us. And my guys, a part of the Replay Mafia, JT, JB, thank you guys so very much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And with all that, we will see you all on Friday with the news and the AEW Dynasty 2025 predictions.
Peace.